Hello, this is J.N.S with Nakhti University. And today we are going to discuss a very controversial topic, but a very enlightening topic. And we get in some straightening around here. And so we're going to discuss Pan-Africanism versus Entrusted Melanism. It's not really versus, we're talking more so of an upgrade or an evolution. So it's not a competition, but we ready for that smoke just in case. But, it's no secret that in 2023, I authored a book called Introducing the Entrusted Melanism Framework for Empowerment because Pan Africanism is dead. And so I emphatically stated that in 2023, and I wrote a whole book on it. A book that consisted of military science, that consisted of research, that consisted of strategies for Black Americans as well as melanated people globally, whether you be in Australia, Aboriginal, Caribbean, Africa. It was a very holistic, deep dive into the actual framework of Pan-Africanism as a mere theoretical concept. And my argument was that it didn't have enough strategy. It had been 100 years. And when we look at the state of melanated people globally, we can kind of assess the success or failure of such a framework. And it's not an emotional thing. I'm a very objective person and a very logical person. So it was a deep dive analysis. And we did a meta-analysis in terms of movements, in terms of revolutionaries, scholars, within the system, outside the system, abroad in Africa as well as in America. And my conclusion was that, okay, we need to evolve this framework. I used to be a Pan-Africanist. There's no shame in that because wanting melanated people to be empowered and to be in a position of self-determination and not just, like these little colloquialisms, but wanting them to be in the total autonomy in terms of their economics, their very nations, states, their identities. That's a very noble concept, and nobody should shame anybody for that. But yes, I used to be a Pan-Africanist a while back, a long time ago. And before I did genealogy, before I understood the actual concept in terms of how it came into existence and how it was disseminated, and even assessing who it benefited and who was making money off of it, who's grifting off of it. And so in assessing that, I said, this is not really a strategic framework. And it's precisely because it was created by the Western Citadel, and anything that is created or curated and disseminated by a power structure that has a vested interest in keeping you down, they're not going to give you, it's not going to be the key to the end all be all. It's not going to be the key to your empowerment. And so it's a very logical, question to me, thinking, okay, well, this is not serving me. The Pan-Africanism thing wasn't serving me. I was overextending myself, of course. I was all into Africa. I was all into Black empowerment, wherever we be at. Obviously, it got me on a list and whatnot. But what I said still stands. We're going to go through the deep dive of Entrusted Melanism and why I even said Pan-Africanism is dead. In terms of, me as a scholar, I credentialed myself, but I'm also credentialed just, in the Western perspective as well, which is also, when we talk about the concept of university, that's still a melanated concept. A lot of people don't know that, but it is. It may be westernized, but a lot of people don't understand the role that melanated people played in the universities, both westernized Black Europeans and indigenous and Africans themselves. A lot of people don't understand that. We won't get into that history because, in a lot of ways, some things need to just stay secret, or some things need to just die with us. For those that's in the know, you in the know. For those that's of that royal melanated bloodline, interdimensional royalty at that, might I add. And so, yes, I emphatically was the one that came out with it, that said Pan-Africanism is dead. Any Pan-Africanist scholar that wants to debate on that, we can. But I would say this. I would say to hold your pretty horses and to assess the Entrusted Melanism framework in terms of the evolutionary progression and update, not a competition. I see that the thing that bothers me with niggas is that everything is a competition. Everything, I don't know who y'all trying to put on airs for, who y'all performing for, who y'all get y'all paychecks for. You got handlers, you niggas gotta go and say certain things for money. I don't have to do that. At least not yet. But I don't have to do that. I'm not bought and paid for. I don't have a deal. I don't have a handler. I don't have someone that has to pull my chain. So I say whatever the fuck I want. Okay? And I do whatever the fuck I want. Good, bad, right, or wrong. And yeah, I'll take slaps up on the back end for it. Yeah, it come at a cost. It sure does. But I'm free. And I feel free, and I go to sleep at night, and I rest my pretty head, and things is coping steady with me and God. And that's all I care about, to be honest. Second is my bloodline, okay? And those that on my frequency wavelength as a spiritual being, okay? Yes, I'm a humanitarian, but at this point, we got to separate the chaff from the wheat. I mean, look, niggas got to fall by the wayside for where we going. For those that's in the know, you in the know. Okay, we talking about heaven on earth, and that is a state of consciousness, and that is a behavior, and that is being setting an example, and that is the process of becoming the architect, the process of building. So we don't have time for the arguments, the debates, the low level frequency shit that you niggas be on. That's y'all shit. I said Pan-Africanism is dead. Okay, anybody want to what? Well, I'm here for the smoke. I wrote a whole book on it, a 200-page book on military science for melanated people, based off the work of Thomas Sankara, based off the work of Winnie Mandela, based off the work of Malcolm X and Huey P. Newton and Ralph Bunche, okay, and Darren Sills, okay, and Sandra Bland, okay. And so, when I say something, realize, okay, yeah, it was provocative. Yeah, the nigga talking shit. But at the end of the day, the girl's heart is in an excellent space for those that want to ascend. That goes not only for melanated folk, Black Americans, but also the John Brown. We need some John Brown white folks, some John Brown Latinos, and some John Brown Asians, some John Brown types. Okay, for those that you go and look up John Brown and you look up his profile and his research and his legacy and what he did. Yeah, that's the requirement for an alliance with the 14th bloodline, with the Lion of Judah, with the Nakhti order. That's the requirement. John Brown phenotype, John Brown sociographic profile for the white folk, Asian, and Latino. Okay. But if we can't get on that accord, then we gotta split. It ain't no hard feelings. It ain't no if we ain't on the same wavelength, we on the same wavelength. It's a frequency thing now. Okay, so we're going to discuss delineation. We're going to discuss entrusted melanism versus Pan-Africanism. We're going to discuss, CIA attempts to erode serious conversations of enlightenment and ascension by trying to talk about some bullshit about aliens. There are no aliens. Talk about weird shit to try to reduce interdimensional travel, understanding of consciousness, high-level concepts. An understanding of Atlantis as a dimension, all of this jealousy that they have, that niggas is waking up, that humans are awakening, that people are accessing dimensions through the spirit realm. We're going to address all of that. And that's going to be a separate topic. It's a demarcated topic. It does not have anything to do much with the discussion of Pan-Africanism and entrusted melanism. But when I said that, guys, I want you guys to realize that, obviously Pan-Africanism is dead. It's like, oh my gosh, who's saying that? All the Pan-Africanists is going to get up in arms and come with their pitchforks and collie J.N.S, bring it. But I will say, there's no beef with no melanated folk, okay? I truly wish the best for us in all facets of our life. I want us thriving spiritually first and foremost, and I want us thriving on planet Earth, and so my heart is definitely in a good space for us, when we talk about like empowerment, when we talk about self-determination, when we talk about love, I have a bleeding heart. I'm like, come on, I spent 14 years of my life, in this movement. to no avail. I didn't get anything out of it. And that was, I wasn't looking for anything out of it. I truly was in it for a fight. I truly was in it for a whole nother reason. And so I didn't realize that theirs was like this whole honeypot, or there was like this whole industrial complex value of niggas knowing how to get paid off of movements and knowing how to get paid off of the struggles of people's pain. I never approached nothing like that. It was shocking when I found it out, to be honest, in 2022. It freaked me out, to be honest. But there was this thing, where people knew how to grift off of the Pan-African movement. They knew how to grift off of the conscious community movement too. Let's be real. In many ways, a lot of these movements were served as honeypots to weed out certain revolutionaries that the government would have a profile of, a sociographic profile, and target certain ones. And I was obviously very much targeted. And I have to say, I was definitely targeted after writing the Entrusted Melanism book. That's when it went full throttle. No lie. That's when shit got real for me. I ain't even gonna hold you. Shit got real for my motherfucking ass. After producing the Entrusted Melanism Framework, the book. And so what I want to do is share, because I'm going right now, there's like a noise campaign going on in the background every time I do a topic like this. Because again, this book almost got me killed. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, this book right here was the book where they was like, we got to clamor down on this person. They did reach out. They did send a high-ranking Boule member to reach out to me and ask me about this book in terms of the military science, and said that the military and the government itself was interested and wanting to know more about the actual military science that's in this book and the strategies that's in this book, because obviously there's something there. Obviously there's like, okay, well, she's producing this work for the Black Americans and for the continent of Africa and for the Caribbeans and for the Aboriginals and for the North Centennians. She's producing this for melanated people. It's actually viable strategy in here for economics, land procurement, military, all these things. Well, how about she produced this stuff for us? And so that was pretty much presented to me in a sense. And to be honest, I wasn't interested in that type of thing. It kind of like, with me, the authenticity and the voice matters. And so by that, like, being able to stand on something and being able to ride out and to express the self, express it as best as you can. It doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. It doesn't mean I'm not going to grow and evolve. But in any current juncture and moment in my life, it is very important for me to be able to just speak my truth. And so when it comes to Entrusted Melanism Framework, though people may be offended, I said it was dead for a reason. I created a superior framework for melanated people. The government tried to kill me to keep it buried. Pan-Africanism, it has to evolve. You have to evolve your thinking. And melanated people like to stay stuck in these ruts. There's a lot of money involved in pushing certain shit. I get it. But when we come to, okay, are y'all serious about empowerment or not? Are you serious? Or is this just a grift for y'all? Is this just something to feel good? Is this an emotional feel good thing? Or are we serious? Okay. Entrusted Melanism is a superior, more effective as a strategy and framework. You have to look at the state of melanated people globally, and that should tell you that Pan-Africanism is dead. If the framework comes out 100 years ago, and we see today the state of Africa, we see today the state of Black America, we see today the state of the Caribbean. Yes, where there's a fight, there's people fighting for reparations. You got certain countries, Zimbabwe try to do the smack up, South Africa try to do the smack up, and then we have Ibrahim Traore, with Burkina Faso. We know about Kwame Nkrumah. We know about Patrice Lumumba. We know about, obviously, my baby daddy. Who that is, that my baby daddy? Who that is, my baby daddy? Thomas Sankara, okay? That's my spiritual husband, Thomas Sankara, okay? And that's who I tip my hat off of, because he really gave the blueprint. Yes, it cost his life. He was sold out by a treacherous, no good ass nigga, his best friend supposedly. Okay, but that blueprint gave rise to Ibrahim Traore. Okay, let's be real. I've been writing about Thomas Sankara, as you can see who, look, his whole face is on the book. Okay. As you can see, we strategically use Black American colors. We have Darren Sills on there. So why did we put Thomas Sankara on there? I mean, he's an honorary Black American. He's an honorary. Like, honestly, like, if this is the image in my mind when I think of, like the melanated man, when we think of the creation of the melanated man in terms of what the divine feminine designed these men to be, theoretically in concept, Thomas Sankara hands down fits the profile. Okay. In theory and in truth, and spirit and in truth. Okay. And so this is not to shun other, this is not to make other people feel bad or anything, but we're just talking about my personal conception of, when we think about melanated men, we talk about he was a president. Okay. He became president of Burkina Faso through his military science. He is of a royal bloodline. He was born, modest means, but he was born royal, right? He got educated. He went to military academy. He was blessed. He was given went through initiations as a baby in terms of consecrations to certain spirits and gods for the protection. And he became president of Burkina Faso. He turned them all around as far as the gold, self-sufficiency, got rid of the West, provided health care, took care of the women, provided education, his own education, and that's what we're thinking of, the your shelter, your clothing, your housing, your educational apparatuses, your institutions. He did that single-handedly. He had a team, of course. He had his team, and unfortunately, he was sold out by his best friend, who ended up he ended up coming president at the behest of France. Obviously, he was a French puppet. He's in exile now, so he died a coward, and I think he's still living, but he's living like a coward because the people actually brought him up on charges for the killing of Thomas Sankara. They made it illegal to say Thomas Sankara's name. They were very jealous of this man's soul and his spirit. They riddled his body. They desecrated his body in death, and so we keep his memory alive. We pushed his energy up. We don't desecrate him in death. We uplift him in death. And that's the same thing with Darren Sills. And so Entrusted Melanism was born out of the bowels of this man's mind. Okay. Obviously, it's my mind, it's my theories, it's my thoughts, but I studied him in depth, his writings, his speech. I listened to his documentaries. I studied both of their, just the little bit of Darren Sills. They didn't even get a chance. Darren Sills, as soon as they saw, that speech, honestly, about the economics and how he would galvanize Black people to start a trust and give weekly amounts out of their paychecks in order to build, to start to circulate the dollar. I knew then they literally bum rushed his ass off the stage because there was so many Black people that was ready to move. And that was dangerous to the establishment. So they killed him. But let's just be real. And that's very unfortunate. And so for this book was dedicated to these men. It's dedicated to Winnie Mandela. It's dedicated to melanated people in general. But I know it can be offensive to say, okay, Pan-Africanism is dead. Why would you come out of our framework like that? But again, we were talking about action-oriented approach to melanated empowerment. We were talking about the history and the limitations of Pan-Africanism, and we demonstrated how it has been a one-sided nature for certain people, and it has led to a lack of tangible progress for Black Americans. But I will also argue Africans as well. We can actually make that argument now. And so it's not to, we're done with working with melanated people. This is a framework that is an open source template that focuses on shared goals, our interests, and practical strategies for empowerment by acknowledging and preserving the unique cultures and ethnicities of each melanated tribe. So, you have the Ewe tribe, you have the Wolof tribe, you have the Black American tribe, you have Caribbeans, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Cape Verdeans. Who else? We got the Melungians, you got American Indians, you have Aboriginals in Australia. We have these distinctions, right? These different land masses, these different geographic locations that breed and engender new cultures, okay? New ethnicities, new expansion of consciousness and different beliefs, different gods, different religions that has to be honored and respected. Different languages, over 3,000 languages are spoken in Africa alone, 54 countries. 3,500 tribes. Actually, over 9,000 tribes. It was 9,000 tribes, 3,500 languages, just in Africa alone, or Akibalon rather, alone. So when we talk about Pan-Africanism, one size blanket, and then eliminating culture apparatus and eliminating identity, that's not good enough. And it's 100-year framework born in the Citadel of the West. We're going to talk about who produced it, who wrote it, who came up with it, where it came from, blah blah blah, with receipts. Okay, I'm not that nigga to fuck with. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been blacklisted. I've been attempted assassination attempts, smear campaign, all types of bullshit. The white power structure that has had a concerted effort in paying my people to even lock me out. Let's be real. Surveillance, all types of shit. So you niggas is not about to play on my top. You know, when it comes to like, oh, acting like you're gonna come up in debate. Okay, come show some respect in terms of, okay, you don't like me, whatever. You don't like, I said you don't like the delivery, you said you don't like me. Okay, but you niggas copy something. Some of you say, okay, but some people just don't like you. Some people just don't like you. Okay, but you copy too much. So that don't make sense. I got receipts. We got receipts of the government copying, the president copying. Receipts, black and white. We talking about on more than one occasion. Clear plagiarism from the FBI and copied my damn plagiarized my shit out my books. Okay, content creators copy. Like I could kill that noise about the, you just don't like. I mean, come on, you copy way too much. You let your cat out the bag. You should have just ignored my ass. That would have been more of, then it would have been like, okay, we ain't gassing this motherfucker up because we really ignoring her. But you're acting like you're ignoring, but then you're copying within days apart, within weeks apart. So your whole thing is fucked up. Your magic, your equations are fucked up, to be honest. If you know, you know. But when we're talking about high level strategies for empowerment, we're drawing on military science. We're talking about, preserving the unique cultural identities while working together when it's advantageous, based on your interests and your goals. So we're focusing on autonomy, adaptability, strategic alliances for tribes that share similar objectives and can benefit from working together. Just like how this is what the Pan-Africanists let them bring up. They let them bring up Marcus Garvey, right? They let us say that Marcus Garvey said it was some useless niggas in Jamaica or in America. They will be useless in Africa, and so we don't need them. That's the same concept that Entrusted Melanism embrace. Yeah, niggas. Yeah. It's true. It's worthless. I'm serious. Like, it's people that I mean, come on, look who did Malcolm X in. Look who did Darren Sills in. Look who set motherfuckers up. Look who set Nipsey Hussle up. No, we not playing that. We're about frequency around here. Now, it is about frequency and about the character of the heart. Like we said, we bringing up all the spirits today. Like Martin Luther King said, it's the content of the character of the heart. It's the content of your heart. Frequency. The heart beats what, 8 feet out? You could see the content of someone's character through their heart and their actions and their message. And so that's what we're focusing on in Entrusted Melanism. Okay, it's not, we may have the delineation along tribal lines. That's good and all. But what happens when you got fuckery in your tribe? What happens when you got sellouts in your tribe? What happens when you got people that are turncoats? And so melanated people have to make that conscious realization of that, and realize that the idea that this one size all blanket Pan-Africanism is not a strategy towards actual empowerment. It's a 100-year-old framework. And look at the state of melanated people today. Look at the state. Yeah, you got pockets of people that work together, right? You got black people that care about other black people. That's just black niggas working together. That's just melanated people working together. Where's the framework behind it and the strategy behind it to scale it? You have to scale it. And so where you are in positions of power governmentally and economically, but definitely governmentally and militarily. And until we do that, I don't want to hear about no Pan-Africanism, because Entrusted Melanism deals with that. Why do you think the government came after me? Oh yeah, okay, niggas. Okay, stop being scary. You're sitting up there grifting off of Pan-Africanism. You make money off of it. So when a nigga come along and say, "Look, we're not empowered governmentally and militarily nowhere. We tired of the banana republics. We tired of the racial disparities, the wealth disparities, the health disparities. We tired of being locked out. So until we can get on that until I see where we can make moves governmentally and militarily out in the open, then that's where my heart is at. And so if I'm the last nigga standing, if I'm the last one left, if I'm really just, so be it. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. Even my own people is scared. They think I can't see that in them. These people running around talking about delineation and running around talking about, oh, be about Black American empowerment and all this stuff. But them niggas ain't really did put in that work either. They ran right to the fake ass politics shit. And I was over there too because I honestly was naive as shit, thinking that it could work and seeing what, these different parties were talking about. Yeah, I want to understand government and those things, but not like that. I'm not a puppet. Like, I'm like, no, hold up. I'm not about to be paid to what? What? I thought, what about good governance? Like, my mind is in such a lofty, the world of ideas, the world of emanations and production and creativity, definitely creativity, that I'm thinking of new ways of governance, new structures, new systems, things that work, productivity, efficiency, equity. That's where my mind is at. And it's not necessarily consumed with profit, though that is the byproduct. I think that will be the easiest thing to come about if you have your innovation and your creativity in efficient and logical systems. That's just common sense. And if you could defend yourself and stand on integrity, the money comes. We're talking about scale wise and governance wise, that comes easily. That's nothing but supply and demand. That's nothing but trade and commerce and economy. Like, what the fuck? Supply and demand. You create something of value, product market fit. What the fuck? Like, that's the easiest thing. Like, come on, I'm literally the inventor behind the invention aggregation system of artificial intelligence. I can prove that through an invention that I created in 2019 that was submitted to the Columbia University capstone. Are we serious? That was nothing. I did that like literally in less than 6 months. It was nothing. And I have even more inventions that are way more sophisticated than some fucking AI. It was just me. Why did I think of creating it? Oh, because I write a lot of books and because I do so many things with my mind and I get tired mentally. And so I would rather have the fucking artificial intelligence send the emails and produce and automate. I was really big on automation. So it was nothing to come up with the AI shit. Nothing. It was literally like, shit, I'm tired of creating the emails. I'm tired of inventing. I'm tired of writing these books. How about we have something that can automatically do it for you by understanding the data source? And how do you feed it the data? And it's going to help us humans create more. That, in hindsight, I regret that. I shouldn't have been putting all those ideas out. I was misclassified by the federal government, ethno-religio wise, in terms of a bloodline and in terms of even ethnicity. Look, it gets that deep. It's just that spiritual. It's just that spiritual. When we talk about the interdimensional shit, the government don't want nobody to know that it's spiritual. That we are spiritual beings in a human experience. That some of you appearing human, you could be a seraphim, you could be a nagas, you could be a demon, you could be an angel, you could be literally in a human flesh. You got to do your genealogy, your physical genealogy and your spiritual genealogy, and have that communion with God so that God reveals to you who you are. You may be many archetypes in one. You could be, like with me, I wear chief architect, I wear great mother, but I also wear seraphim. Because I told you guys, even as a kid, when I was 5 years old, I knew I was an angel. I didn't know what type of angel. I didn't know the word, interdimensional. I didn't know the word seraphim. I didn't know the word nagas. I didn't know the word, none of that shit. I just knew as a 5-year-old kid, I was running around saying, oh, I know I'm an angel. I know I'm an angel. Yes, I did say that. When the teachers asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up, Jenny? What do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I just want to be close with God. I want to be with God. And they said, you could be that now. That's what the teachers told me. They said, well, you ain't got to wait to do that. You could do that now. And I said, how? And that's when they told me, took me to the church, talked about the church and stuff. and I told you guys that story about when the church, like they caught my granny and said, we asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up. She said she wanted to be with God. She wanted to be close with God. And, we told her that, about Christianity in the church. And so we want to know if you could take it. And my granny was like, well, I called Black Rock Church, the kind of church van come pick them up. And so me and my little 5-year-old mind, I'm really thinking, on our way to church, I'm really thinking, oh, we're going to see God. Like, oh my gosh. Like, and, the church van come pick me up. We go to the church, a Baptist church, and you seeing screaming niggas and the choir, and the whooping. And I mean, I was shocked. My mouth was wide open. I'm like, this is not what I thought it was. What is this? And this looks like spiritual indoctrination to me. But nonetheless, we let it rock. But I do have to say, I was quite flabbergasted seeing people fall out on the floor, screaming, running around, tamarines. I love the choir. Now that's the one thing I did love. Now I have to say, I did. That was a treat to see niggas singing in different harmonies and tunes and melodies. Oh, I love that. That I liked. I like when they was doing the Kirk Franklins and all that. That was my thing. But I have to say, I was a little, taken aback. I'm like, where's the motherfucking pearly eights? I'm like, I'm 5 years old. I'm like, I mean, that's just the mind of a kid, right? That's literally how a kid would think. But nonetheless, I've always been a spiritual nigga, and the government don't want niggas to know that we spiritual. And so when I come with Entrusted Melanism, I'm consorting with Thomas Sankara. I'm consorting with the spiritual realm. I'm consorting. God, what do we do to uplift our people? What do we got to do? And so we're talking about high level strategies. Okay. We're talking about action over theory, exposing, and this book, it literally exposed niggas. It exposed the tribes that fail to contribute to collective empowerment. And it allows tribes to focus on their unique goals at the tribal, regional, and national level. Entrusted Melanism represents a paradigm shift in a pursuit of melanated empowerment. It offers a more effective and sustainable path towards collective growth and progress than Pan-Africanism ever has or ever will. Yep, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. At its core, Entrusted Melanism emphasizes the need for action rather than pie in the sky theoretical plans. And I'm a woman. I'll come up, obviously, women birth ideas, women give creativity to ideas. We birth plans, we birth frameworks, we birth theoretical ideas and strategies. It is the men, the divine masculine, that is supposed to put these things into action, not plagiarize them, not act like you came up with them and steal from me, niggas, but go and put foot to action. And yes, if need be, women, there are some women that like to fight. There's some women that's action oriented, that do manual labor. Yeah, there is. And they will put that foot to ass too. I'm not that type, to be honest. I am a thinker. My mind, I'm come on. I'm an Aquarius, January 22. That's air mental plane. Everything is for me is all about the mental. Okay. Morning star, light bearer, energy, air, Aquarius, Saturn, life path 8. Are we kidding me? Air, mental. When we talk about chief architect, when we talk about chief commander, that's the air mental. Universe is mental. So everything about me is going to be emanations of the creative world, forms, thought concepts, constantly. Thought, Tahuti, thought, okay? Like, walk with me. Everything is going to be from that plane. I'm a revolutionary. That's that, what's the octave? What's that next octave? Yeshua. Boom. We become the bring a motherfucking sword. Okay, and peace. Okay. We talk about these octaves, but all in all, we want to preserve the unique cultural ethnicity of Black Americans while encouraging collaboration among those who share similar goals and interests. How could that be an issue for anybody? How could preserving unique cultures of melanated people and the work that they've done in their geographic locations, how could that be an issue? You have the Igbo tribe, right? And the Igbo tribe expressed to me, to a group of Black Americans a while back, that their language was dying. And so it was very sensitive to them. And they were speaking their language constantly to each other. And they got upset, because we were asking, what y'all saying? We was being rude, what y'all saying? What y'all doing? What y'all tell us what you're saying? And they explained to us, like, it was really sensitive. Like, they were literally crying, like, our language is dying. And, we understand what y'all actually talking about when y'all talk about delineation. We respect it because we actually want to delineate even in Nigeria. We want to work with other Africans. They were saying it. The Igbo tribe is like, we want to work with other Nigerians. We want to love on other, but we really, really want to preserve this damn language. And that requires that we preserve our culture. Igbo tribe told us that. And we said, well, we thank you for understanding our quest for delineation. I remember homeboy Mwenda. He's from Kenya. Now he has and he's really into all the Kenyan culture. Like, oh, you wouldn't get you. I mean, it was amazing learning from him. Very, very intelligent guy, very serious guy, and all into the divine feminine. So it kind of, I mean, he was very, very masculine, but in very kind of patriarchal. But it was interesting how he would just let us fly off the rip. I mean, the ideas that will spew out of a girl's head, and how he would be the one agreeing. Just looking at him like, what the hell? What do you agree with that? What? But once again, I remember he also supported Black Americans in delineation. Very much so. Would defend us. They was calling him a pick me. He wasn't a pick me, but when we asked him what he said, look, he said, because I want to preserve my motherfucking culture. I have a tribe. He said, we got ancient tribe. He's like, we have a whole secret society where we don't play. Like we initiate niggas in our tribe. He's like, no, it's serious. It's serious business. And he said, I'm Kenyan, and I forgot the name of his tribe, to be honest. But he said, I want the same thing for my peoples, but I believe in working with melanated people. I believe in, let's come together, let's make something shake when we can. He had a bunch of Black American friends, but he was like, nah, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I don't want to be lumped in with a bunch of random ass niggas. He said, I want to be Kenyan. I'm proud of be Kenyan, And so I was like, okay, so there's somebody else that understands. And when we talk about delineation, we're merely talking about, establishing a criteria and the actual behavioral conduct of what it means to work on a frequency together, to come together on a frequency. If that's along tribal lines, it's okay, right? But let's expand delineation in terms of the frequency. Why do we say that? Because when we talk about the code is the leader, okay, what the fuck is the code in? And then you have to know the code. If you say the code is leader, what is the criteria? Because a lot of Black Americans was in online and my ass up and selling me out to the motherfucking government for that little chump change they gave them niggas. They gave up a $250 empire just to fuck with my bloodline and put people on the target individual list and shit. So okay, who did Malcolm X in a group of Black Americans? Who did Nipsey Hussle in? His own people. So I am for delineation. I'm saying as Black Americans, we still have to come up with that criteria for what that looks like in the behavioral conduct. And hate is not one of them. The criteria for delineation is when we're talking about preserving culture and ethnicity, sometimes hear me out, mainly along tribal lines. But you're going to have some rioters, and we're going to need alliances, and we can't be sitting ducks, and we need networks, global networks, where if something happened to us, we can get back up. If something happened to us, we can call and make a call, and niggas will help us. We could have a space to go to, whether it be in the Caribbean or Africa somewhere. But we can go to, we can't be sitting ducks in a country that low-key sees us as a threat, that low-key want to smoke our asses the first chance they get. They've been studying us like motherfucking lab rats while watching us. What do you think blockchain ledger technology is based on? Watching niggas. Oh, yeah. The AI, what do you think is based off? Literally me as a data source. I invented it, and they stole the invention, the National Science Foundation, and cahoots with, I would even say, probably Columbia University. Somebody got a hold of that capstone and saw it. I presented it to venture capitalists that were millionaires, that were chairmen of Disney. Okay, I presented the fucking idea to them, and they shitted on it, act like it, they love to devalue it, but then somebody says, shit, this motherfucker, we can lock this motherfucker out, put her on a list, tell everybody not to work with her, and we gonna take it and run with it. That's what the Jews did. And I'm a real Hebrew from the Lion of Judah. That's what they did. Now, should a Seraphim have been producing that level of research and knowledge and genius and putting it in a fucking Western university? No. But I didn't know. I was adopted, devalued my whole life as a Black woman, and ain't nobody ever give a shit about me, including my own family, including niggas. They devalued me too. But you ain't gonna tell me that levels that I can produce in terms of what's been stolen constantly it values in the trillions now. The trillions. Your capstone talked about integrating AI with NVIDIA through an NVIDIA aggregation system, teaching the AI how to invent. NVIDIA was working on GPUs at the time in 2019, 2018. The research is there, the receipts are there. You niggas couldn't fuck with me on it if you wanted to. The data was submitted to the National Science Foundation as well, the invention. The National Science Foundation told me, oh, this ain't nothing. We don't want this. But they secretly wanted it. I am the inventor of this shit. And that ain't nothing. Oh, I got shit. If you let me rock, but I ain't giving out shit else. But I'm saying if I was in my proper position, oh, please. Oh, get the fuck out of here. We have an inventionary motherfucking day. We talking about sustainable shit too. That's in alignment with this planet, alignment with God, alignment with the earth. I consult with God for my shit. I just didn't know how inappropriate it was to be, you know, how people see us as golden goose. People see us as the golden goose, and we sitting up there thinking we just niggas. Niggas in the hood. I'm from the hood. People don't know their value, don't know your self-worth. That go for me. Every time you deal with narcissistic abuse, like how I did. People try to play in your top, act like you ain't shit. They jealous. This is what it, but it cost the community more to shit on me and to do what they did and to sell out than what they got out of it. And they still have not realized the effects of what they have done and who is going to pay for it and how and the ways in which they will pay for it. And not just them, but the people who stole it, the people who stole the inventions, the people who put me on the targeted individual list in 2015 before I called out COINTELPRO in 2022. They have been fucking with me since 2015. They've been told the Black community to not let me get no shake, don't let me get no rock, don't support me. In 2015, when I came out with Organic Commonwealth, which was a wholesale organic food marketplace. They've been had targeted me and gunned for me and had people close to me in on it. They took that little bag or whatever. That shit wasn't nothing. We could have made everybody millionaires. It was nothing. My mind is an idea generator. Okay? I'm born on the 22. It was nothing. We could have made everybody fucking millionaires. We're everybody in the damn near in this fucking country. Had we just followed the fucking plan. Niggas folded. Niggas wanted to take what I got, act like they came up with it. Plagiarize. How many niggas? We documented the plagiarism. Everybody acting like that's not plagiarism. Everybody acting like that's not what's happening. We got documented the president fucking plagiarizing me. Over 20 times, all documented publicly. What the fuck are y'all doing? Like how inferior can your systems be? And I don't care how fucked up it sound right now. I don't care how it sound like, okay, you're looking down on us. Y'all look down on me. That's why I said everything is about frequency now. I don't give a shit about the race paradigm, the gender paradigm, the bullshit paradigms that y'all niggas want to keep niggas in a box. My mind is not going to be trapped in no box. If you fuck with me, I fuck with you. You look out for me, I look out for you. You're loyal to me, I'm loyal to you. You die for me, I die for you. Nakhti order. Okay? That's it. I can't be mind controlled in your bullshit. Your bullshit is about control, lies, and deception. I'm about high order shit, high level frequency shit. And that's what the Entrusted Melanism framework was about. It ain't about grifting no Pan-African movement. So the delineation, let's establish the criteria for that. I don't want to delineate with a bunch of hateful, jealous, plagiarizing ass niggas. I want to delineate with high level, intelligent niggas with integrity, standing truth, speaking truth to power, loyal, ready to rock when it's time to rock, defend planet Earth, defend their souls, never sell their soul, believe in God, spiritual niggas, in tune with nature. Even when they get down and out, you know, they keep hope alive. They are humanitarians. They don't want to hurt nobody. I want to delineate along those lines. Niggas that do genealogy, niggas that believe that they royal, niggas that understand that they're spiritual, niggas that understand that they're interdimensional, that they work on their spiritual gifts. They understand the spiritual world is real. Oh, I want to delineate along those criteria. I don't want to just be sitting up petri dish with a bunch of funky ass, jealous ass, backstabbing ass niggas, copying and plagiarizing, and you ain't getting shit done because you're paid by the damn government. That ain't delineation. That's infiltration. That's neutralization and destabilization. That's what the government did. They ruined delineation. But when I talk about delineation, oh yeah, we delineating along powerful lines, and it can be mainly tribal. Oh, okay. So, it looks like my sound. I was explaining earlier that my sound, when I was recording it live, the sound had went out. My mic had something happened with my mic, and so I did have backup. Thank God. I had backup as I was because I recorded on multiple devices. Because I figured something like that would happen because this is extremely, controversial topic. And so we do have that backup. And so what I'm going to do is play that now, continue literally where we left off. Um, on the backup recording, because I gotta find it. I did catch it, and so I presume that the sound may come back on. I just don't know at which point, but nonetheless, I'll just play it from here so we can continue. So let's do that now. And pledge their loyalty and their integrity for themselves. Look at out. Why would you scorn? And when we say delineation, it wasn't about fighting no Africans and fighting no Caribbeans. How we delineating from racist power structures, we delineating from extreme racist Western European power structures that have been harming us, but also any African that partake in that structure too. Any Caribbean that partake in that structure too. Any Black American that's partaking in that structure too. If you know you're going to be a part of that wicked system, the beast Babylonian system that seeks to mind control, that seeks to deceive, that seeks to lie, that seeks to have lawlessness, no family structure, no logic, no intelligence, then we delineating from that shit. You damn right. You damn Skippy. Okay? It was not just about fighting, sitting on the internet, fighting with no fucking Africans and no Caribbeans. Now, if they want to be disrespectful, we're going to check your ass like we did in 2021. But I'm past the checking. They passed the checking. We passed the fighting. Let's be real. There's no Africans really want to fight with no Black Americans on no deep level. Soon as y'all talked about y'all wanted to boycott them, they was up the next day and within 24 hours apologizing. Now you got some knuckleheads that was ready for war. Remember they was like, you don't want a war? Let's go to war. Let's go to, you got some, as you come on, Africans are very arrogant and be stubborn. And so if you're going to talk some shit to them, even if they in the wrong, they're going to stand on their arrogance. Some of them, not all of them. It's certain tribes that are like that. But it was a lot of tribes that said, look, we apologize. We don't want no smoke. We sorry. What did we do? We sorry we didn't look out enough. We're sorry. I saw those videos. They was apologizing.
A lot of people, it's unprecedented times. Economic wise, global wise, infrastructure wise. Don't nobody want to be fighting. The melanated people ain't got no business fighting, especially Black Americans, because we really don't know this country. Honestly, they ready to make a move, but they scared to make a move because they know we God's people. And the moment they make a move, they know they shit is fucked, but they don't like us. I'm telling you what I see in the spiritual realm. If they could smoke our asses and take our identities and wear us like Versace skin, they would. They just can't. They scared, but they don't like us. Look what they did to me. Look how they treated me. And I'm a genius, and I know, and I'm not bragging, but it's obvious, and everybody knows, like, okay, y'all clearly targeting this woman, this government. Y'all copying all her shit like that? What y'all scared of her for? Y'all hiding her genealogy. Y'all gunning for her bloodline. So they don't like us. Y'all can stop acting like y'all gonna get along. You're gonna go Republican. You're gonna go MAGA, and you're gonna get. You ain't getting no reparation, getting shit from this administration. You can stop acting like, you know, these white folks give a damn about you. Some of them do, and you'll know. You'll know. You ain't gotta look for them. You ain't gotta go and explain racism. You gotta explain. You're talking about Julian Michaels. Give me a fucking break. You shouldn't even be talking about that asshole. You know, y'all shouldn't even be talking about, why is y'all discussing that? Like, y'all discussing white folks that say some ignorant shit, really? They've been saying ignorant shit. Discuss some, like, I'm just so off of that wavelength. I don't understand it. I don't care what nobody say. You know, people could judge me, say I'm ratchet, whatever. I was watching Jocelyn's Cabaret, you know, and I seen how, you know, the girl Ocean was the one that put in the work to fight Hennessy, you know, for Jocelyn. There's a white girl. Now, let's be real. She got her ass whooped. Hennessy whooped that ass. Okay, Oceans is getting better. She's getting better at fighting. She is. She's putting in her work. She's doing her thing, you know. But you know, that's, I know people can say that's ratchet or whatever, but let's be real. Ocean, like, that's, if there's gonna be some white people that ride out for you. Okay, she didn't have to fight that girl for Jocelyn. The black girls were just standing around looking crazy. And it was a white girl that came up and fought, got her ass tore out the frame, of course, but she was still willing to fight for that lady. Black eye, punched all, swollen, all types of shit for a black woman. And so you can't, you gonna know the people that fuck with you. You gonna know. You ain't gotta look and explain and act like, you know, and sit on panels on BET. You gotta sit on no panel and discuss to white folks, well, you're doing this to us and this racism. They already know. We passed all of that. We're the John Brown niggas that, okay, we doing the Nakhti order. Okay, we setting up infrastructures where 14 bloodline is back. The Lion of Judah is back. We out in the open. Okay, we got reinforcements in Russia. We need reinforcements in Africa. We need reinforcements in the Caribbean. We need reinforcements in Australia. We need reinforcements in the UK. And we need reinforcements in America. And we need reinforcements in South America. And those who fuck with the Nakhti order, okay, we coming out of the Lion of Judah framework. Obviously, the shit that my bloodline had been built under in Scotland, the Moors, Sephardic Moors over there, Knights Templar energy, obviously the whole King James Empire they started their cult. Let's be real. Okay, that is my bloodline. Okay, the genealogy speaks for itself. It is what it is. But we evolving and updating it. We not going under just King, because honestly, he has gave him permission for me to absorb that entire institution, because as a part of the payment for him getting his equations wrong, pretty much his masonry wrong, and coming after the divine feminine and realizing got some equations wrong. He did a couple missteps when it comes to the black women's, and so his stuff is getting absorbed into the Nakhti order. That is my bloodline. We've made it. It's not even a deal. It's just something that he has agreed to do, because we're pushing up the higher energies, but we're going to ascend the planet to love under Christ consciousness. Okay? Under God. We still ascending the planet. That's what it's about. It's not a war. It's not a competition. It's not a fight. Everybody, niggas want to fight. You want to fight each other so much, you better fight this motherfucking system that's seeking to enslave all of humanity. As quiet as it's kept. You better say no to Palantir. You better say no to technocracy. You better say no to 15-minute cities. You better check your pedophile motherfucking president. You better check this pedophile ass defenders. That's what you needed. Y'all sitting there looking at me upset because I said Pan-Africanism is dead, but I come with Entrusted Melanism. I gave you the military science. I gave you the strategies. Non-combat at that, science of the mind. I ain't gonna tell you to go get up no rock and go get shot, go get locked up. Everything I told you, I made sure it's keenly strategic to make sure you don't get locked up. For you fucking cello agent niggas that were running around, going around telling Black Americans, okay, don't follow her because what she's doing is gonna get you locked up. Bitch, I think so motherfucking deeply. Everything I said was precisely to make sure niggas don't get locked up. You stupid fucking nigga. And I'm talking to a very specific person who is running around copying me, jealous as fuck, and going around undermining me while copying me, but telling Black people not to listen to me. Oh, that's documented too. Oh yeah, that's all documented and it's right on this channel. So come up with your criteria for delineation. You want to do it among tribal lines, fine, but you got to go deeper than that because you got some niggas that's in your tribe that will fucking sell you out. So then what? Then what? Look at Thomas Sankara. It was his right hand got him killed. 12 bullets in the back. What was it? Tribal delineation? Did he not delineate from the Sambos and the other Sambo presidents from around him, with the exception of the president of Ghana fucked with him at that time. President of Ghana was a real one. But wasn't he calling out some of the leaders in Africa? He delineated. Thomas Sankara delineated, right? Among tribal lines, right? But what happened? One of his tribal members fucking killed him and worked with the white man to get it done. Same thing that happened to Darren Sills and Nipsey Hussle. Same thing they tried to do to me. Same thing they tried to do to me. But they scared. They make their move on that seraphim, on that chief architect. Oh, we split. Oh, good God. Oh, God help you. Oh, God help you. Oh, I talk reckless just because I want to see you fucking do it. And watch what would happen to this world. Watch what would happen to this planet. Watch what would happen to this country. I said I'm only a principality for a reason. A primordial mother in this bitch. But yeah. Entrusted Melanism. We're talking about superior strategy and framework. We're talking about assessing on a deep level. The government contacted me about this book and advice on military science. Evolve your framework and thinking. Do you want to actually be about power on the world stage and not just the internet? Abraham Traore, he utilized that framework. It's a book of military science for melanated people, non-combat. I'm just way too ahead of my time. When we talk about Pan-Africanism, let's get into the masonry of it. Pan is a Greek goat god. For those who want to say that's not true, let's look it up. Let's look it up. You want to say Pan. You got to understand your equations and your masonry and the language that you use. Pan. You said Pan.
Okay. So now I found in the other video where the sound went out. So we can go back here. We can go back here and we can look at the screen again with the actual presentation because this is where the sound came back in. And so we'll play it now. I think it should start soon. You said Pan. Here, this is a Greek goat god. Look at this right here. That's what Pan-Africanism means. That's literally what it means. When you say African, you're getting into Africa Scipio News. Africanus Scipio, which is a Roman general who conquered an area in Carthage, and was a Roman general. So Africa was originally called Akibalon, and at one point originally called just Ethiopia. And so Akibalon was the original name of Africa. Africa is named after Africanus Scipio Africanus, which is a Roman general. Now you put the Pan with it. You got a Greek god, horny goat god, a god is horny, a goat indulgence. This is Pan. You see it right there. There's Greek god, and then you have Scipio Africanus. So let's look up that. Boom, Rome. Now a lot of Black people got a lot of Roman energy and Roman ancestors. Even myself. Me not gonna act like these Roman Carthage niggas didn't infiltrate. Come on, that's just a known thing. That's just a known thing. You got Julian, there's Black, more, I mean, it's not something that is hidden if you do the research. Phillips was a more, but a lot of them, at the end of the day, that's where we start to get into the admixture, the white presenting admixture. And that's why you see, even still with some of these the nose is cut off. A lot of the ones, that you could tell were melanated, the nose is definitely cut off. Let's just be real. And so we know that Rome, the Roman Empire, is a nation of conquerors. They're colonizers at the end of the day. Whether melanated or not, they're still rooted in the colonization framework, colonizer behavior, colonizer spirit. You got, I take. It's a it's a low frequency. Okay? Is what we're saying. Low frequency. Anybody that's about you got, I take, colonizer spirit is a low frequency. Let's be real. And so even if these were melanated, say somebody says, well, Africanus is still a more, it's still colonizing energy. It's an unevolved spirit. You got Pan, which is also an unevolved spirit, a low frequency energy. Pan, let's go here. Pan, oh, that's Pan. Let's do Pan, Greek god. Pan, this is a person that is embridled by the flesh. All about the flesh, the lower self, the sex, the horn god. The nymph, about sex. So when you call yourself Pan-African, you putting yourself under a spell. You putting yourself under a certain masonry. The equations are not logical. The equations are not adding up. That's why your ass is not empowered. That's why your ass ain't doing nothing with it. That's why melanated people at where they at. Yeah, I said it. But let's go here. Let's actually talk about Pan-Africanism as a framework. Okay? So we didn't create Pan-Africanism. Again, when we talk about these Roman, when you name yourself certain things in certain languages, if the masonry around the language is fucked up, you're going to get a failed equation. You are. People keep talking about who's saying Pan-Africanism is dead. Not, nigga, I am. Kali J.N.S. is. Jenny Ann Nunn is. Jenny Nunn Stanley is. Bitch. Why ain't anybody calling them out? That's in there. Y'all know y'all mad about it. Y'all try. Y'all use your little dumbass secret society to target me. So bring it. So put it out there. I said it was dead, but I gave you Entrusted Melanism. Now let's go through it. Nakhti University, 2023. Let's look at the titles. Chapter 1, rename, redefine, re-strategize Pan-Africanism. The one-sided nature of Pan-Africanism, Black Americans' efforts and Africa's limited reciprocity. Chapter 3, how did Pan-Africanism start? Chapter 4, power, knowledge, and Pan-Africanism, how it erases the unique identity of Black Americans. It actually erases the unique identity of all melanated people. Chapter 5, why the name Entrusted Melanism? Chapter 6, what is Entrusted Melanism? Chapter 7, stipulations that must be met before Black Americans work with other tribes, which is true. You have to have your boundaries, you have to have your standards, you have to have a criteria. That goes for all melanated people. Chapter 8, Example of tribes working together based on interests and goals instead of race, using Entrusted Melanism. How is this different from Pan-Africanism? The framework will expose African tribes to collaborate with white supremacy or don't care about their empowerment. Chapter 11, military strategies for a trusted melanism template, use as needed. Chapter 12, guerrilla economic warfare. Chapter 13, strategies for land procurement. Chapter 14, strategies to procure resources using an entrusted melanism framework. Chapter 15, high-level project management strategies for melanated tribe focusing on building institutions. Chapter 16, how to develop a platform that is open source, decentralized, and anonymous so we can collaborate and review other melanated tribes framework. Yeah, I'm a high-level ass nigga. So you have to stop trying, like, look at this. Pan-Africanism started 120 years ago. Look at the state of melanated people globally. Look at the state of Africa. Africa is 3,000 tribes, 9,000 languages. Asking Black Americans to unite with people 5,000 miles away who are at least 500 years removed is unrealistic. Many are Indian, many are whatever. But that doesn't mean we don't have to work together. It means we come up with a superior framework. So contrary to popular belief, Pan-Africanism was not created by Africans. It is an American construct introduced by the citadel of the American West. Africa has never practiced Pan-Africanism because they delineate along tribal lines. They don't have race if all the niggas are dark skinned. Haitians and Jamaicans also are the other melanated groups to a lesser extent embrace the ideology. But it was a one-sided adoption, and because Pan-Africanism is a theoretical framework, not a strategy. Okay, and a strategy it needs a specific action plan. One must build a strategy within the framework to achieve tangibles or to create a new plan. And Pan-Africanism, as it stands, it provides no strategy for fighting white supremacy outside of saying, "Hey, you're Black, I'm Black, let's work together." And then, or telling everybody on the globe that they're African. That's not a strategy or a plan, because because you can't trust. That's not a criteria to work together. And so there was an erasure of people by just of their unique geographical locations, their unique identities, their unique tribes by just saying everybody's African. Mind you, we broke down the Pan Greek god and the African Roman emperor. Why would you label everybody African? It makes no sense. We talked about, developing economic opportunity, addressing healthcare disparities, addressing housing, addressing political power, addressing how the criminal justice system, okay, and how white supremacy played a role. We talked about all of that. It's right here in front of you. We addressed them. It's not about fighting no Africans. We talked about the one-sided nature of Pan-Africanism. We talked about Black Americans fighting in the Ethiopian War. We talked about Malcolm X African visits and reception in 1946. Yes, he did. We talked about Martin Luther King's support for Kenyan students. We talked about the Black American response to the Marcus Garvey Back to Africa movement, right in the book. We talked about the Pan-African organizations founded by Black Americans, such as the United Negro Improvement Association, the African Blood Brotherhood. We talked about how the limited African efforts to benefit Black Americans. We don't have the same institutions on our side in terms of history building. With the exception of Marcus Garvey, he even talked a gang of shit about us. We talked about the legacy of the African slave trade. Okay. The African continent is home to over 3,000 tribes. It's unfair to expect Black Americans to give up their cultural identity and heritage for a continent that has not done enough to support them. We're hoping they do more. We're hoping that we can build alliances. But we had to get through the ugly truth. The ugly truth. We ain't gonna act like Africans weren't popping shit over here, but they getting better. I see the improvements. I watch everything. I'm seeing the improvements. Yes, I am. And I'm glad they have Ibrahim Traore. We need 50 million niggas of Ibrahim Traore. It should be 50 million niggas of Ibrahim Traore, not just one. We need 50 million William Mandelas. We need 50 million Sandra Bland. Okay, what is we doing here? Y'all want to be setting ducks and think about money, and you don't got no respect. Don't nobody respect you on a global scale. Even the niggas that's giving you the money. Even the white folks that's giving you the money, they look at you like a fucking dog, because they know all they got to do is wag a fucking dollar, and you gonna wag your tail and sell out whoever. You ain't gonna stick to the plan. You don't think long term, and not willing to sacrifice for a long term gain. especially the men. So let's talk about how did Pan-Africanism start. So it emerged in the mid-19th century within the United States, spearheaded by individuals from the Western Hemisphere. Key early Pan-African figures include Martin Delany, Alexander Crummey. These are both Black Americans, as well as Edward Blyden, a Liberian. So Martin Delany was convinced that Black people could not thrive in proximity to whites, so he proposed that Black Americans secede from the United States and form their own sovereign nation. Crummey and Blyden were contemporaries of Delany. They posited that Africa was the most suitable location for a new nation. Driven by fervent Christian missionary spirit, they argued that Africans in the New World should return to their ancestral lands and introduce Christianity and modernization to local populations. Although the contributions of Delany, Crummey, and Blyden were insignificant, I'm sorry, not insignificant, were significant, the true architect of modern Pan-Africanism was the intellectual W.E.B. Du Bois, who persistently advocated for exploiting African history and culture throughout the extensive career. In the early 20th century, he emerged as a leading figure among the limited number of scholars engaged in African studies. His declaration at the dawn of the 20th century that the problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line was grounded in Pan-Africanist ideas. For Du Bois, the problem of the color line transcended the boundaries of the United States and is its Negro problem. Okay, so let's keep going. Du Bois made a renowned statement with an acute awareness that numerous Africans residing on the African continent were subjected to the oppression of European colonial domination. Now we talk about Marcus Garvey right here, as you can see, in his organization. Then we talked about Jean-Jacques Dessalines, 1758 to 1806, Haitian leader. Okay, so y'all, I'm very well researched into this. When I said it was dead, it was because we were coming up with something superior and better that actually get us empowerment. Now we talk about Edward William Blyden, Bavarian educator and politician, advocated for the unity. W.B. Du Bois, and then Henry Sylvester Williams, which is a Trinidadian lawyer and activist. Mind you, all these are Americans, with the exception of some of the Haitian and Trinidadian, and then Jamaican. That's all the Americas too, though. So Henry Sylvester Williams, okay? And then we talked about the 1945 Pan-African Congress held in Manchester, England. And Kwame Nkrumah was there, Jomo Kenyatta, George Padorme, they were there too, okay? Now let's talk about power and knowledge. So when we talked about, like, yes, we have these figures who promoted Pan-Africanism, right? We talked about how they were mainly Black Americans and some Caribbean and right. But when we talked about it, we were on a deeper level in terms of the Citadel of the West and the reclassification that it allowed. That's where you get the white anthropologists involved. That's where they come up with the American Colonization Society and all that shit. They got I'll give you the names. Melville Gene Herkovitz was a prominent white anthropologist. He played a significant role in shaping African cultures and their connection to African Americans. He was the one. It was a white man that started trying to come up and reinforce the notion that Black Americans were Africans. A white man. Okay. This perspective, it erased Black Americans' unique experiences and identity. So this was Melville Gene Herkovitz, 1895-1963. Was born to a Jewish family. Herkovitz earned his doctorates of anthropology, okay? But he was the one that was doing this extensive field work and seeking to understand the cultural connections between Africans and Black Americans. Why was that important to him to do that? When they were trying to cover up the indigenous connection already. They were trying to cover up that the Pacific slave trade in particular, in terms of the Caribbeans and the South America and North America slave trade, and the Pacific slave trade in particular, of the indigenous being enslaved to their own land. That was the cover up. Okay, Gene Herkovitz dude. The Myth of the Negro Past, which challenged the prevalent that's one of the books that he came up with. You guys can research this yourself. And so it was this effort of white scholars to assert questions of authority and legitimacy. That's offensive. They silenced Black American voices. They erased the indigenous American, the American Indian. They erased the Pacific slave trade of the Dravidians, of the Australian Aboriginals even. They were Australian Aboriginals that were brought over to America. A lot of people don't know that. They erased, everything was focusing on Africa, because they already was setting up an industrial complex over there too. They was already starting to demarcate Africa along random lines in terms of countries. Nigeria, Benin, Togo, come on. Those are demarcations that are arbitrary because they themselves didn't come up with those countries. Okay? Nigeria was not named by actual Nigerians. They had even Ghana, they had their nation was called Wagado. And it extended just beyond the landmass of Ghana. Yes, it did. Same with Mali Empire. And so Songhai Empire was extended beyond just Mali, right? When you talk about Sunni Keita. Smell my shit. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I can give you a rundown 35,000 years of history. Okay? So I'm not the one when I say something is dead. It obviously might have been provocative, but at the same time, I thought deeply about this topic and wanted something to give us empowerment. Okay? You could say I'm arrogant. Okay, why would you say your stuff is superior? Blah, blah, blah. Look, it's 100 years, 120 years. We should have been farther along now. Okay, we still at the bottom of the boot. Our people still got to answer and take deals and make deals and get the fuck out of here. Still got handlers. Still, we don't own it, the music distribution. We still look out my shit gets stolen. Nah, man, nah, you ain't gonna tell me that Pan-Africanism. Nah, something wrong with it. Nah, I want something better. Because you're scared, you want to be a sin duck, you want to take money, whatever. But don't come at me. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So let's continue. And so when we talk about the concept of flat blackness, black in legalese in American definition, it does not describe melanated people in Africa, and it does not sufficiently describe Black Americans. It is a misclassification. Fields like African studies, all these they're all oversimplifications of understanding melanated people. Africa was originally named Babylon. So when we talk about the decolonization process, the decolonization of consciousness in the mind, and all totalities, you have to even fix your language. Yes, you do. Excuse me. You have to get out of the Eurocentric worldview. And Eurocentric, it is Black Europeans. You keep a lot of I fall into that category. I'm part indigenous as well. But yeah, we have a certain aura about us, an air about us. People they say we act white or whatever, but we're very much into melanated. We very much understand the melanated mind. We very much understand how the melanated process information, how they think, how we think. And so we come with when we say, like, honestly, we do see ourselves as leaders, global leaders. And so yeah, we may come off like very assertive and dominating. That's just the way of the more. It is. We're very much dominating people, and honest. But also, my mom is American Indian, so when I also have a very compassionate side and a side that's a fighter, a warrior. I beat ass. Think none of it. Okay, and so there's different those energies help me and allow me to stand on business when it comes to this type of stuff. When we talk about systemic violence, refers to how the dominant groups try to control the knowledge production and dissemination, thereby marginalizing and suppressing alternative perspectives in the context of Black Americans and Pan-Africanism. There's a lot of epistemic violence manifested by white academics who try to force misnomers or reclassifications on Black Americans. And they do a disservice to Africa too by doing that. Africa has its own tribes and its own peoples and its own landmass and sacred practices and cultures and customs too that must be preserved. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we talked about power, knowledge in the conscious community. We talked about Joseph Ben Jochannan and John Henry Clark with good intentions, and how the teachings were linked to Western academic institutions. It's not a bad thing. I don't look at that as a bad thing. But when we're talking about like the brainwashing that takes place in terms of people staying not willing to evolve, they ain't got nothing to do with Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark. They did their work. They had their time. They situated the work in the times in which they lived in. We honor them still. This is no disrespect to them. But when we're talking about like niggas get stuck on shit where you gotta evolve. Like things move. Knowledge gets updated. Okay? Well, we understand that strategizing based on race forces us to fight inside the territory of white supremacy, meaning that you're using the same tools of construction of race they created to strategize. This puts you in a losing position because strategizing based on race when you are not in a position of power makes you predictable. That's military science for your ass. Plus, Africans and other melanated groups besides Black Americans never align based on race. They don't. So let's discuss the definition of word entrusted. Entrusted, to convert trust on, primarily to deliver something in trust, to commit to another with confidence, meaning to give someone a thing or duty for which they are responsible for. So what is melanin? We talk about 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, carbon, melanin, concept of entropy and intelligence together, a superconductor of light, a superconductor that is your precursor, a prerequisite for light, phosphorus, light, electromagnetism, Lucifer, light, the primordial mother. We go deep here. I'm a hard ass craftsman. It represents your commitment to empowerment as a duty for melanated people globally, committing to one another based on aligned interests, strategies, and goals. The light. That is why the word entrusted was used. Melanism refers to the dark-skinned individuals, but also melanin, strategizing their empowerment based on shared interests and goals rather than race alone. Melanin. The term entrusted highlights the importance of confidently delivering their responsibility and treating it as a sacred duty because we are currently dominated. I don't like that. The framework encourages melanated tribes to focus on their unique cultures, histories, and identities while collaborating with other tribes with similar interests and aspirations by emphasizing action over theoretical concepts. Right there. Is it not? It's right there. There's nothing to debate. I used to be a Pan-Africanist. I created the framework to address my issues to ensure empowerment. I'm an author of 22 books. I'm a professional. We want melanated people to work together, but as a scholar, I just think my theory is superior, and we'll go through it. And no Pan-African should actually be fighting me. No Pan-African should actually be fighting me. Because I'm asking you guys to evolve your framework. Just use Entrusted Melanism. It's created by the mind of an actual Black revolutionary, actual Black genius. BLAQUE. That has a history and a bloodline and a pedigree that has been building infrastructure. That built the infrastructure of America. Scientifically, spiritually, and physically. That built the infrastructure of the Scottish Moors in Ireland and in Scotland. So when we talk about building empowerment and being military scientists, and my family founded the fucking Knights Templar, and we know what good governance looks like, and we know, and honestly, like, look at, you know how people, okay, you know why people still in that cult, James? Y'all know why people still, like, the spirits, like, there's spirits, like, that will, like, there's certain reasons why I moved away. I moved on nobody, even the government, and be scared and stuff to fuck with me. There's a cult. I wasn't born into that, but obviously that's my bloodline, right? Do you know why it's people that will die for that cult, for the man that started it? Because he was actually a good king. He was actually like a good fucking leader. Like, people loved him. Like, they did. Now, his issues with the witches, that was ridiculous. He had to answer to God for that. Oh, he got his ass torn the frame about that. Look at us now. Even that bullshit he pulled with the witches and scared of Black women. His ass got fucked up behind that spiritually. Trading all the, but he was a cold demonologist. And people don't want to talk about that. But when we talk about people it's people that will literally die for that motherfucker. And die for his kids too. And will fight and will fuck up shit. They will ride out his spirit. I mean, we talk about no questions asked, because he was a good fucking king. He was actually a good fucking leader. Like, he loved people. He looked out for people back in them days in the 1600s. So it's motherfuckers that even to this day, like, they know who that bloodline is. It's spirits that, they in secret societies. They don't like to talk, whatever. But it's motherfuckers that know. They still to this day carry on that fight. And they don't even, they could be under mind control. Yeah, sure, whatever. But they know, like, okay, he was a good fucking leader. This Black man. Why do you think they set up all this stuff, Lion of Judah in Africa, Lion of Judah in Rastafari movement, Lion of Judah in Jamaica, Lion of Judah in Ethiopia, Lion of Judah everywhere. You see the same lion symbols everywhere. That's my bloodline. They were good fucking leaders. We're talking about on the esoteric level, the secret society level, that shit that people don't know about. Making sure you set up them frameworks for niggas to look out for each other, however small. This is the real entrusted melanism. No Pan-African should be fighting me. Like I said, the framework was built off of Thomas Sankara. You know, I'm a scholar by melanated standards, by Black standards, BLAQUE. I'm a good content creator. I'm a good curator of knowledge. I'm a good disseminator of knowledge. People still act like they don't know who I am. They work with the white man and shadow ban me. But that don't take away from the fucking facts. I own and publish all my, I own Entrusted Melanism. I own that. All 22 books are owned by me. I didn't go through anyone. I own my own platform. I own my name 100%. But they work to bury my shit and scholarship out of fear. Okay? The handlers tell them don't mention her, don't talk, don't say her name. We don't want nobody to know about this stuff. We don't want no niggas getting no ideas. But it is what it is. Let's keep going. So we renaming and redefining Pan-Africanism to Entrusted Melanism. We're moving beyond race-based strategies, strategizing solely based on race, and we're looking at interests and goals among melanated people. We're utilizing military science for empowerment. We're establishing respect and boundaries. Okay, going to respect the Black Americans. And the Black Americans are going to respect the Caribbeans and the Africans. We demand that respect all 360 around when we working together. We're strategizing on strategies and goals. Who's on our frequency? Who's on our wavelength? Who's a ride or die nigga? Who's an integrity nigga? Who's a justice nigga? Who's a John Brown nigga? Who's a righteous nigga? Who's a spiritual nigga? Okay, let's work together. Who wants a group economics? Who wants to stand up for themselves? Who wants to build fresh housing, good housing? Who wants to build good agriculture? Who wants to invent new things and have a great education? Who wants to build natural institutions that's in alignment with God in the universe? Who wants to think on high levels? Who wants to be non-corrupt? Okay, let's get together. Okay, that's what it is. You're preserving the unique culture and ethnicity of each melanated tribe while encouraging collaboration among tribes. So the template is designed to be flexible and adaptable and enables tribes to focus on their own specific goals and interests at the tribal, regional, and national levels. This approach acknowledges that not every tribe may wish to align with others and permits them to concentrate on their objectives. In essence, the template provides a tool for tribes to assess their individual situations and decide whether collaboration with other melanated tribes will be advantageous. This empowers each tribe to make informed decisions about their path towards empowerment, fostering a more effective and sustainable approach to collective growth and progress. So the template is constructed from a bottom approach in mind. It utilizes a reiterative process to ensure the unique needs of each melanated tribes are addressed. For example, if a collective interest is to procure resources, the template will first guide each tribe in outlining their specific plans for achieving its goal. Next, the process will be revisited at the regional level. Who wants to work at the regional level? We align the tribe's plan with the other melanated regional groups with the same interests and goals. The process will continue to be reiterated at the national level. Who wants to work at the national level together? United the nation with other melanated nations pursuing the same goal of procuring resources. Finally, you look at the collective level. How many want to do it at the global level? So it's a reiterative, this open source network. It's anonymous, it's decentralized. You can edit the template based on your personal tribe. Here's an example. Boom. Okay? This is what the government contacted me about. Collective interests and goals, procure resources, gain land, prevent ethnocide, engage in politics. Here's your tribal level actions. Define tribe specific objectives and strategies related to the collective interests and goals. Identify the potential collaborations with other tribes within the region. Establish a plan to assess progress and make adjustments as needed. That's the tribal level. Boom, we did that. We accomplished that goal at the tribal level. Let's go to the regional level, niggas. Okay, we established a regional alliance of melanated tribes with shared interests and goals. We did develop joint strategies for resource procurement, land acquisition, ethnocide prevention, and political engagement. We created a system for sharing information, best practices, and progress updates between tribes within the region. We did that. Oh, we got success at the regional level. Boom. Hey, let's go to our next goal. Let's go to the national level, niggas. Formulate a national coalition of melanated tribes and regional alliances. Develop a unified vision and set of national objectives aligned with collective interests and goals. Implement collaborative strategies for resource acquisition, land management, and ethnocide prevention, and political representation. Establish a communication network for information sharing and cooperation between tribes and regional alliances. Now, boom, we at the national level. At least we got something popping at that level. Let's go to the collective action for all melanated people. Create a global forum for melanated tribes, regional alliances, and national coalitions to engage in dialogue and collaboration. Develop and implement joint strategies for achieving shared interests and goals at the global level. Foster a sense of global community and shared identity among melanated tribes by respecting and preserving each tribe's unique culture and heritage, aka the royal delineation. Establish a global communication network to facilitate the exchange of knowledge, resources, and best practices. Implementation guidelines. Boom. Here's a copy of the blank template. Boom. You put it there. You do it now. You put it there. You're Pan-Africanist. This is Entrusted Melanism. There you go. Your high-level goal at the name of the tribe. Name of the tribe. This is it for Africans over in Africa. Where's the name of your tribes? Put it right there. Right on your screen. Okay? Put the name up there. So Wolof tribe. High-level goals, strategy, and actions and items for the tribe. Boom. Now you got to go to the region. Boom. Then you're going to go for the nation. Boom. Then you're going to go for the collective. Africa, you better use this shit. Speak your ass. You better use this. This is for you. This is for y'all, especially because y'all got the actual countries. So Black Americans a little harder because we got to navigate as sitting ducks in a. We only 50 million strong, and then we surrounded by other groups of people that literally don't like us in a government that's hostile towards us. So we got to do things on a whole nother level, a lot different. Still similar, but ours have to be honestly, a lot of our shit has to be underground. Like we won't even be, because everything is so different for us. Okay. But this still applies for Black Americans too. Like say if it's a small group of Black Americans that want to use this, oh, you can still use this too. Absolutely. You use this. But for Black Americans, it's for you. But obviously, say if you're a whole nation, say in Africa, like Thomas and Kara, I mean, obviously, Ibrahim Troy, look how easy this would be for a high-level goal. And it says, fill out each section with specific strategies and actions that align with your tribe's goals. Add or delete as needed. You can fill this out mentally or by printing it out and filling it out, right? Print it out and fill it out. Or fill it out mentally. Stipulations that must be met before Black Americans work with other tribes, recognizing our unique ethnicity and culture. That's our delineation. Melanated people must respect and acknowledge Black Americans' distinct ethnicity and culture as separate from Africa, and vice versa. No undermining in American politics. We don't want nobody undermining us in American politics. No cultural appropriation. No cosplaying. No tribalism warfare. No more warfare. No forced African identity. So we did our genealogy. Many of us did our genealogy. Okay? Respecting cultural boundaries. And that goes for all of them. We expect the same courtesies, and we do the same. Melanated tribes demonstrating their commitment to empowerment. By first, you complete that template before seeking allyship. How can we effectively strategize if we cannot see an operational plan that aligns with our interests and goals? Okay? And it's acknowledged that we assume leadership in our empowerment process. In America, Black Americans, everybody, you would see yourself as a global leader. No more complaining. That go for Africans too. But Black Americans, we come with a certain air, certain pedigree, certain genealogy. And so we want to be in the forefront of leadership and domination, and definitely leadership when it comes to governance, taking over our government, running, think like that. But again, I get in trouble because I our people ain't there yet either. And niggas, they talk a good talk, but they ain't walking a good walk. And and then they want a woman to go out and just like, no, niggas is supposed to be implementing these ideas. But no, everybody wanted to do the deal thing, whatever. They wanted to take the deals or whatever. Okay. We want people that prove their unwavering loyalty. We Black American tribe, we retain the right to decline collaboration with any melanated tribe if the goals and interests are aligned under any circumstances without providing prior notice. We set the parameters of what we want to work with. So the delineation movement seeks to protect Black Americans from being undermined by melanated immigrants and to prevent ethnocide and genocide. But the delineation movement has a criteria beyond just tribal. It's frequency wise. It's the characteristic. Is there certain criteria? Niggas that want to be that's on the same frequency. Okay, and other tribes are delineating, even in Africa, but we respect that, and it's a cross-sectional respect and a mutual understanding, and that does not get in the way of working together and setting goals and working together on goals and becoming allies. It does not. Delineation does not prevent that. It is not about fighting and fucking and fussing. Okay, and it's not about fighting. So examples of tribes that work together based on interests and goals instead of using race. Let's see. Let's consider. Okay, let's actually read some of these examples. Let's read a couple of them. Right. Let's consider another example of African tribe using a template based on similar. So first, we'll start with Africa. Let's see. Hmm. We'll start in the country of. We'll start with the African tribes, and then we'll do with Caribbean, and then we'll do one with American, Black Americans. Okay, so let's just do that. Just I want you guys to understand that Entrusted, Melanism, and Delineation, these are not mutually exclusive concepts. I bridged them together specifically. I'm a deep ass thinker, and that's why the government, they send out a lot of agents to try to undermine my shit. But then nobody want to say my motherfucking name. I wish you bitch niggas would stop being scary as fuck, because I will come, I smoke your ass and not think twice of it, because um I know what I'm talking about. I'm a very deep thinker. I know these concepts work. I know these theories work. I know how the government, I see how these Europeans, they just put themselves in it. They say shit, we know them niggas is hard-headed. We know them niggas is jealous-hearted, and they don't value their own. They don't value Black women's. So shit, we'll take this. We'll take this off your hands and trust in Melanism. Okay, and we'll put ourselves in it. We'll put Russia in it, and we'll put Europe in it. We'll put ourselves in it. And they do that with my shit all the time. They did it with the enterprise architecture framework. Sure did. The FBI. I mean, they realize that y'all, yeah, they like these them self-hating ass niggas. You sitting there wasting all your time with them, girl. We would have paid you to give us this shit. Look at you now. We don't blacklist jazz, and them niggas still sold you out. That's how the door is always open for me. Just so y'all know, always. That's my bloodline. My family has been in this country's military for 250 years. Let alone we talking about military in general. That's easily over 1,500 years. They founded the Knights Templar easily. So anytime I want to go, that's what I'm saying. Like, do y'all know, like, the Boule tried to recruit me when I was 15 years old, dude? And they was the ones that came and told me. It was Black niggas. They said, look, some ideas are better than others. We don't give a fuck about no low level ass niggas. Like, this is what it was. This is how it was presented to me. Yeah, we elitists, and we don't give a fuck. This is literally when I was 15 years old. I was listening to these Boulets. They came to me, and we were at that meeting. This was when they had the baby lambdas. For those who don't know, the baby lambdas was like the baby Boule in Buffalo. But they had the adult version, obviously. I'm not gonna try to put people's name. For those who's been studying, they know who I'm talking about. I ain't trying. I realize, like, I don't cause a lot of smoke, so I ain't gonna be putting actual sororities and people out there anymore like that. But I would never forget. Like, they were sitting. It was a bunch of 15-year-old kids sitting down, and we were eating pizza. They got some pizza, and it was Boule members walking around, Black Americans, American Indians, and Black Europeans, running around us in a circle, literally indoctrinating us. Like, look, we some people are just better than others, and it just is what it is. Some ideas are better than others. Some ideas are more logical than others. It's what they was telling us. And it was like, we don't care that we're better than other people. We honor that. We know that. We walk in that. We're elitist. We just don't care. We don't care about low level niggas. We don't care about low frequency, jealous hearted niggas. We take an oath to each other. We support and protect one another. And that's it. It is what it is. We ride out for each other. Who gives a fuck? And I remember sitting there thinking at 15 years old, like, really, that's how they think. I didn't understand it. But then when it came to the hazing, see, I don't do hazing. I don't do mind control. So even at 15, I'm already broken. You know how I'm talking about? Damn, can't hurt your niggas. I've always been that way. I'm like, no, this some hazing shit. I don't like nothing that really devalue. I don't like to be devalued. So even though I dealt with narcissistic abuse my whole life and stuff, certain things, like I had my limits. Like when they was doing that hazing shit, oh, I was out. I don't like this. Now that I can't do. I don't like nobody indoctrinating and sitting and I gotta study some material, memorize some material, and then recite it. If I don't recite it, I get paddled. No. No. Like that. Once it was that, I'm like, I ain't cut for that. That's just not me. That's just not me. Like niggas like y'all try to play on my top. Y'all niggas is under the MK Ultra. Niggas like me, we break our shit. Okay, we can't be programmed. We cannot be fucking programmed. We'll swipe through that shit like, nah. They been trying to get my ass since I was 15, and I'm still out here bopping around. So fuck out of here. But let's look at it. Let's look at the examples. African tribes using a template based on similar geopolitical interests. Imagine the Akan and Iwe tribes in Ghana and the Wolof tribe in Senegal. All share concerns about the sustainable management of natural resources, particularly concerning the mining industry and local agriculture. For each tribe would develop strategies and actions at the tribal level to address these issues. The Akan people, for instance, may focus on regulating the gold mining industry to protect the environment and local communities. The Iwe tribe might promote sustainable agricultural practices that preserve soil quality and biodiversity. Meanwhile, the Wolof tribe in Senegal could prioritize the responsible management of the country's phosphate resources, ensuring the industry's benefits local population and environment. After developing their strategies at the local level, the Akan, Iwe, and Wolof tribe could align at the regional level and reiterate the process, combining their efforts to create a more comprehensive plan for sustainable natural resource management across their territories. If they find other tribes in the region, such as the Mende tribe in Sierra Leone or the Bassa tribe in Liberia, who also share the concerns and are actively working towards sustainable resource management, they can reiterate the process at the level of nations. This example illustrates how African tribes can enact the template based on similar geopolitical interests, enabling them to collaborate effectively and work together towards common goals. By focusing on shared objectives, they can form alliances and networks to tackle pressing issues such as sustainable management of natural resources, which significantly impact their communities and environments. Each melanated tribe should concentrate on its own interests and goals in the context of empowerment, promoting action over theory. Boom. That's Entrusted Melanism. That's the actual strategy in the theoretical framework. That's the actual Entrusted Melanism in action. So let's look at example 3. This is with Jamaica. This is with Caribbean. In this example, let's consider the people of Jamaica and Haiti facing unique challenges related to their sovereignty and national identity. Jamaica wishes to lead the monarchy and gain more control over its affairs, while Haiti seeks to end paying reparations to France and resist exploitation. This is a hypothetical example, mind you. First, each nation would develop strategies and actions at the national level to address these issues. In Jamaica, the people may work together on building public support for a referendum on becoming a republic, which will involve engaging citizens in conversations about the benefits of leaving a monarchy and increasing national autonomy. On the other hand, Haiti could focus on rallying international support to renegotiate or cancel the debt imposed by France and advocating for economic policies that promote self-sufficiency and discourage exploitation. Jamaica and Haiti could amplify their message and enhance their negotiation power by joining forces. After developing their strategies at the regional level, Jamaica and Haiti could align at the national level and reiterate the process, sharing their experiences and learning from each other's efforts to address these issues. They could also collaborate on initiatives to raise awareness about the challenges faced by Caribbean nations in their quest for sovereignty, autonomy, and self-determination. If they find other Caribbean nations with similar interests and goals, such as Barbados, which has also been considering becoming a republic, or the Dominican Republic, which shares the island of Hispaniola with Haiti, and faces the challenges related to sovereignty, they could reiterate the process once again at the level of the collective. This would create a stronger alliance of Caribbean nations working together to promote autonomy and independence and self-determination. This example demonstrates how this typically can be enacted by people in the Caribbean focusing on shared objectives, collaborating to address common blah, blah, blah. Okay, you get it. Now let's do example 4. This is with Black Americans, Aboriginal Australians, and the Jarrara people of India. They each face unique challenges related to ethnocide and the fight for recognition as distinct ethnicities. This is why delineation was born. I am one of the pioneers of it. The moment was stolen from me by fucking COINTELPRO agents and literally driven off the fucking cliff and rails, and let my people be sitting ducks in a country that hates them and doesn't want to do anything to make things right for them. They contributed to their ethnocide. Okay, they ruined the delineation movement. Okay. And so, yes, I am pissed. And yes, I called out COINTELPRO in 2022. And yes, they tried to kill me multiple times. So let's go. Let's consider Black Americans, Aboriginal Australians, and the Jarawara people of India, each facing challenges related to ethnocide and the fight for recognition of distinct ethnicities. Black Americans fight for delineation and reparations, while Aboriginal Australians and Jarawara people struggle against ethnocide in their respective countries. First, each group would develop strategies and actions at the tribal level to address these issues. Black Americans can focus on raising awareness about their unique history and culture, lobbying for political recognition as a distinct ethnic group, and advocating for reparations. Aboriginal Australians might work on strengthening the preservation of their cultural heritage, demanding recognition of the rights to the land, and seeking reparations for historical injustices. Similarly, the Jarawara people could focus on protecting their ancestral lands, preserving their unique culture, and resisting assimilation to the broader Indian society. Honestly, their framework development, Black Americans can also argue for ancestral rights to the land as well. After developing their strategies at the tribal level and receiving reparations, these groups could align at the regional level and reiterate the process, sharing their experiences and learning from each other's efforts to address these issues. They could also collaborate on initiatives to raise global awareness about the challenges faced by marginalized ethnic groups in their fight for recognition and autonomy. These groups can amplify their message and enhance their negotiating power on the world stage by joining forces. If they find other nations with similar interests and goals, such as the Jamaicans or the South Africans, they can reiterate the process at the level of nations. This would create a stronger alliances of indigenous and marginalized groups to promote recognition, autonomy, and reparations for historical injustices. This example demonstrates how this template can be enacted by Black Americans, Aboriginal Australians, and the Jarawara people, focusing on shared objectives and collaborating to address common issues by forming alliances and networks based on their shared interests and goals. Now, we also have the example of Black Americans and South Africans facing challenges to oppression in their respective countries. Black Americans are dealing with systemic racism, the fight for reparations, and a need for political recognition as a unique ethnic group, right? And so South Africans were dealing also with the legacy of apartheid. So then again, once you see it right on your screen, pause it and read it. I'm not going to read it right now. Example 6. Once again, we did it with Black Americans. And actually, I want to read this one because this one is like Black commerce and business. So in this scenario, Black Americans have successfully achieved reparations and now want to enter the crude oil industry in Nigeria, with the Igbo and Yoruba tribes willing to collaborate and provide connections. First, at the tribal level, Black Americans would develop strategies and actions to enter the Nigerian crude oil industry. This may include researching the industry, understanding the necessary regulations, acquiring technical expertise, and identifying potential partners in Nigeria. The Igbo and Yoruba tribes would also develop their strategies and actions, such as assessing the potential partnerships and determining the benefits for their communities and establishing criteria for the collaboration. At the regional level, Black Americans, Igbo, and Yoruba tribes would iterate the process, aligning their strategies and actions based on their shared interests and goals. They could establish a joint venture, leveraging the resource and connections provided by the Igbo and Yoruba tribes and investment from Black American reparations. The partnership could focus on capacity building, technology transfer, and training programs for members of all tribes involved in the project. At the level of nations, Black Americans, Igbo, and Yoruba tribes work together to navigate the complexities of the Nigerian crude oil industry, ensuring compliance with local and international regulations and promoting sustainable and equitable business practices. They could collaborate on advocacy efforts to secure favorable policies and deals, build relationships with key stakeholders in the industry, and explore opportunities for further collaboration in other sectors. This example demonstrates how the template can be enacted by Black Americans, the Igbo, and the Yoruba tribes to collaborate on entering the crude oil industry in Nigeria by forming alliances and networks based on blah, blah, blah. Okay, you see it? Then we talk about beneficial enterprise. And we talk about how is this different from Pan-Africanism. You guys, we're exposing the dead weight tribes. We emphasize on action and strategy. We contingent on shared interests and goals. We're no pie in the sky ideals. Okay, it's high level shit. This framework exposes African tribes who work with white supremacy, don't care about their empowerment. Boom, right there. And then we talk about the military science strategies for needed. Psychological warfare, economic warfare, information warfare, parallel institutions, civil resistance, and non-cooperation. Boom, right in front of you. Okay, economic warfare, implement economic sanctions, boycotts, investment campaigns to weaken the financial foundation of the oppressor. Undermining moral confidence of oppressors through action. See, Black people try to use this shit on me. My own shit. Know yourself and know your enemy. Adapt to change. Alliances and diplomacy. Utilize the element of surprise. Concentrate resources. You think these white people ain't look at this and started using this for themselves? You idiots. Why you wanted to sell me out for $1? They use this shit on you because you didn't want to use it on. You didn't want to stand up for yourself. And because Jenny, her message, her delivery is bad. Or her delivery, get out of here. You know, my bloodline, man. We are look, we are conquerors. We don't baby and coddle motherfuckers. We don't. It's lay down and get your ass sprayed down. And so we don't take like we've been like that even honestly when we was on a plantation with niggas like honestly building up this institution, developing the masonry to build up this country, to teaching the founding fathers, we were the same fucking way. How do you think we got America to where it was? Are you kidding me? Concentrate resources, use spies and gather intelligence, utilize diverse terrain, forge alliances, innovate in the debt, develop a strong economy. And you see it right there. Establish a skilled and disciplined military force, train and equip professional and dedicated military force to defend territory and resources, emphasize discipline, loyalty, and adaptability to create a formidable defense against potential threats. Invest in education and culture. Encourage strategic thinking and planning. Maintain strong united leadership. Stay vigilant and prepared. Divide and conquer. Break down complex problems with smaller, more manageable components to make it easier to tackle systemic challenges faced by melanated communities by addressing individual issue one at a time. Progress toward broader empowerment becomes more achievable. Okay? Universe diverse terrain. Understand the geography of the land and use it to your advantage. Leverage natural barriers such as mountain, rivers, and forests to protect your territory and resources by using them to hinder potential adversaries. Community leaders should consider their social, political, and economic context in which they operate. See, utilize spies and gather intel, gain information. That's where the GIA comes in, Galactic Intelligence Authority. I'm the chief commander of the GIA. Gaining information about opponents, potential allies, available resources is crucial for success. By state, now you see why they came for me. The delineation people, these fake COINTELPRO niggas. That's why they sent them after me. You know who I call now. Y'all know who I got beef with. And who got beef with me secretly and who undermines everything I fucking do, who copies and plagiarizes me, who locks me out. This is why. Because they are paid to make sure that niggas, including FBA, Freedmen's, they all stay down. They selling them out too. Yeah, even those that go under the misclassifications and the acronyms, they selling the American Indians out. They selling the Negroes out. Okay, they selling like it's bad. And so they came for me and wanted to chop me up at the knees because they know like this shit is so powerful. And these white folks said, look, we need this. They contacted me about this shit. They sent the black folk, obviously. But yes, the government contacted me about all of this. I wrote this. I own 100% of this. Assess risk and rewards, strategic retreat. Recognize when it's more beneficiary to temporarily withdraw, disengage from a situation to regroup, assess, return with a stronger approach. The principle can be applied. And this is just literally the redacted version. This is much, much longer book. I ask for your support. I ask that you go and get it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Support me. Help me support you. Foster discipline and accountability. Encourage a culture of discipline and accountability within. Look, this is the big one. As the qualities which are the successful execution of strategies and achievement of empowerment goals, minimize internal conflicts, cultivate strong leadership, leverage existing resources, focus on long-term goals, training and education, cultural resistance, legal action, hacktivism. Look at hacktivism. Use technology and cyber skills to expose injustice, leak sensitive information, disrupt the oppressor's digital infrastructure. And you know what? These white boys, they use that. Activism, yeah, they did a good job when they was fucking up AT&T, but it's fucking up all of that during the election when they fucked up X. We went in. I mean, they went in. They went in on a behalf of the 14th bloodline. I'm telling you, it's white boys that I'm telling you that cult that I'm telling you about. Oh, they don't play. It's not a death cult either. It's not the death cult that y'all think. It's not a Satanist death cult. They got it. Again, we talking about this shit is spiritual, and we talk about like how them niggas ride out for the king of Scotland still. They under their orders. Like I'm telling you, no questions asked. I'm telling you, because that dude was a good king. He was a good king. He made up in his lifetime for the treatment of black women and witches, as they say, because they weren't witches. He was scared of their power. He was scared. He realized the power of women. He was scared. Guerrilla gardening. Transform neglected or abandoned urban air spaces into community gardens, green spaces, public art installations. Improve living conditions. Social entrepreneurship. Encourage strategic thinking and plan. Guerrilla economic warfare. Barter systems, community currencies, local production and self-sufficiency, economic sabotage, crowdfunding, and microfinancy. It's all in front of you. Cooperative enterprises, fair trade and ethical consumerism. It's right in front of you. Resource pooling, skill sharing and capacity building. Strategies for land procurement, please buy the book. Strategies to procure resources, that's not there, please buy the book. High-level project management strategy for melanated tribes, please buy the book. How to develop a platform that is open source, decentralized, and okay. Using a distributed version control system, implement strong encryption, utilize peer-to-peer network, use privacy-focused tools, open source the code, establish clear contribution guidelines, establish a trustless system. Foster strong supportive community. We're not reading through all of this. Get Tor 12p0net interplanetary file system. Ethereum, blockchain platforms, dApps. I mean, come on, like, and also some of that is confidential. You got to buy the book. Sources, okay. Look, Oxford Handbook of Epistemology, John Henry Clark, historian, scholar, and teacher. Goal-directed project management, effective techniques and strategies, pedagogy, symbolic control, and identity. That's by Bernstein. African Heritage Studies by John Henry Clark. Foucault, Power Not Selecting Interviews. Hamilton, Immigration and Remaking of Black America. Herskovitz, Rebel Destiny Among the Bush Negroes of the Dutch Guinea. Pan-Africanism Encyclopedia. Asserting plenary power over the others, Indian immigrants, colonial subjects, and why U.S. jurisprudence needs to incorporate international law, Yale Law and Policy Review. So, yeah, this nigga that came at me today, if you look, he asked the debate. I said, yeah, but you got to pay me. I'm a real fucking scholar, like by all standards on all time, space, dimensions, and universes. This nigga disrespected me and said, oh, you let the white man tell you was a scholar. Bitch, I own all 22 of my books. They don't fuck with me. I was a scholar beyond Nick. Can't nobody give me that credential. No white person can give me that credential. I'm a scholar of all time, space, dimensions, parallel universes, multiverses, and exoverses, bitch. I can't believe these niggas disrespect me. They can't light a candle to my motherfucking ass. They have to devalue me because they scared. They're cowards. They're bitches. They got handlers. They're slaves. They're in contracts. And they disrespect me. Just because I said, hey, yeah, I'll do a debate, but you got to pay me. I bring smoke. I'm a content creator. And I'm a fucking scholar and a genius. If I get up there as quiet as it's kept, I know I could build up. I be building up that nigga's platform. I'm shadow banning a bitch. I remember in Clubhouse when I used to go, man, motherfuckers used to send me, come to this space, come to this space, come to this room, come to this room all the time. That room had 20, 15 people in that room. I get up there screaming like a banshee, talking shit like I'm talking now. Maybe 250 motherfuckers in there, 300 motherfuckers in there. As soon as I start talking, and I obviously say when I didn't get my way, yeah, because I was real childish back then. It was real fucking childish, and still am in many ways. I can admit that. Still very childish in many ways. When I wouldn't get my way or they would cut me off and act the fool, I said, I'm leaving. Watch your numbers go down as soon as I motherfucking leave. I'll leave the shit go down from 250 to 75 people. Everybody would just leave. And this happened all the time on Clubhouse. I would test it. I know I was building up these spaces. Now, I'm not saying it was, something, when I get lucky, maybe, I think the most I probably pull 1,800, in a space. Just me screaming and hollering though. Just me talking shit, just like I'm talking now, talking about. I mean, when we were going through the scholarship, don't get me wrong. We was going through the books, we was reading the material, bringing the receipts, listing the names, cussing. But I'm cussing like a banshee. I call people bitches and all this. I remember I had to debate 5 niggas at one time. Literally, just me myself. I smoked their ass. When I wasn't in the room. It was a good 20 people in the space. Homeboy hit me up. He offered me a show 3 times. He said, come into space, Jenny. Come with colleague J.N.S. Come into space. We want to hear you talk that shit. I go in there. Obviously, I'm a hothead. Obviously, I'm a very provocative figure. Obviously, men don't like extremely powerful, intelligent, genius women that's talking about divine feminine and talking about melanin power and talking about frameworks and history and shit. Yeah, they want to challenge me. Yeah, they want to devalue me and degrade me. And I smoke their ass one by one. Boom, 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 like a motherfucking boomerang. BJ. And yeah, I was cussing. Yeah, I was ghetto. And giving out scholarship. And them niggas loved it. In that room, it was 500. It went from 20 motherfuckers to 500 people in there. Yeah, a lot of people don't like me. They like, yeah, this bitch is crazy. This bitch, she wild. We can't control her. The only reason why motherfuckers got a problem with me is they can't control me. That's it. I ain't under no mind control. I ain't fucking with no bullshit. I ain't let nobody get no bullshit on me. We could make money together. We could do things fair and motherfucking square. We do things fair and square. I'm good. Come fair and square. That's all I ask for justice. I'm actually professional behind this. I'm more professional when I let off in public. But I respect motherfuckers. I respect people's time. They platforms, they energy. I don't come with no disrespect. at all. But to make it seem like I gotta work for free or give people energy for free or content for free, no, I'm not doing it. Even when I did start teaching on the Clubhouse thing, my rate was still $2,000 just for 3 hours. No lie. Now that's a lot of work for 3 hours, but I'm talking about this 3 hours straight teaching. You might get a break, a 15-minute break, 10-minute break, or actually, I think I was getting 3 10-minute breaks in that 3 hours, but it was $2,000. Okay. So I don't understand why people think, oh, you want to ask me to debate and to think I gotta drop it. I don't clout chase off of people's platforms. I like the value. So this person had a much bigger platform than me, but not much bigger, but a bigger platform than me. But because I see how they move and stuff, like I wouldn't rush to go on a platform that's bigger than mine just because they're bigger than me. That's not the way I move. There's people that got much smaller. This is dude that I was, he does talk about the targeted visual, and he talks about the spiritual stuff and metaphysics, and he only got 1,000 subscribers. I would literally go on that platform for free. I would, just because I believe in his platform. I like what he's doing. I would go on that platform for free and talk and teach. Yes, I would. Yes, I would, for free, because I respect what that person is doing. Same with some of these women out here. They only got 500 subscribers, but they talking some real ass shit. I don't know what platform. She only got 30 subscribers. Totally shadow banned. Totally blacklisted. Clearly, the YouTube is scared of her ass. She's a good teacher. And I will go on her platform for free, or invite her on mine. However, something like that. But just because somebody got a bigger platform, 100,000 subscribers or whatever, I'm supposed to just go on there for free and have a ghetto brawl out content, everything about content, and they making money off of it. But you don't think to pay me, you get paid. I'm not monetized. My channel is not monetized. But if you want me to get on there and I could perform. I could be performative, and I could actually teach some motherfucking scholarship and be logical and give people solutions, love on people, and we can really get some shit done. But you don't think I gotta do that for free just because you're bigger than me? Because I don't think like that. I would go on a smaller channel for free. Now the bigger channels that y'all know y'all looking just for content, y'all only care about views, you only care about content, you gotta pay. Because I actually don't care about the views are like that. And yeah, we don't want to do it just for the hell of it. We hope people get the teaching and the knowledge. We hope the information gets to who wants it, right? And who seeks it. But I'm not monetized, dude. Like, and I've been on here for a long time. Like, I could go and get monetized. Like, let's be real. I could go and talk about Shannon Sharp getting his ass ate. I could go talk about Umar Johnson fumbling the school. I could talk about weirdos. I could talk about the latest gossip, the baby oil ditty, which I did for a little bit because that was interesting to me. I did get distracted. I could admit. I could talk about the Jocelyn's Cabaret, which I actually could talk about that shit because I actually watched the show and I liked the show. And I might talk about it now. Shit, I'm a multifaceted dynamic being. And so yeah, I do like that show, and I do like she provides opportunities for the ladies of the night. And she talking about she paying $500. I paid you $500 a day. How much did I pay you? She paying them $500 a day. She said when they make in 8 months, the girls are making $80,000 a year. $80,000 in 8 months, and $50,000, and they paying them $500 a day, paying for their travel. I like that she's putting on these women, putting on women that otherwise would be streetwalkers or not have good opportunities. They would be hoes. And I respect that they probably still hoes, but at least she's putting them on. She's putting money in their pocket. And I respect that a woman is doing that for other women. I ask that she continues with righteousness and helping these ladies. Work on your attitude, Jocelyn. But I really I respect that. I do. I don't care how much y'all say, oh, that's ghetto. Oh, that's ratchet. Oh, that's low level. It's not, because she is helping other women. Okay, she's putting other women on, and women need to appreciate that. And I ask that Jocelyn keeps that big heart and remember how she was raised, how nobody gave a fuck about her, how her mama didn't give a fuck about her, and she's giving opportunity for these other ladies. And then ladies, you gotta appreciate when a woman is doing that. Yeah, she ain't perfect. Yeah, she might got her ways or whatever. She bringing in people. Be careful. Everybody be careful. Watch what you're signing. Know what you're getting into. But she's helping ladies that honestly would be fucked up in the game anyways. That stripper lifestyle don't have a longevity. Okay. And that she wants to do they're about to open, they want to do the strip club. I say don't call it strip club. I say call it Jocelyn's Cabaret and Lounge. A lot of people are getting spiritual, Jocelyn. A lot of people don't want to go, they don't like the idea of strip club. And I like strip clubs. But I'm saying call it Cabaret and Lounge, Jocelyn's Cabaret and Lounge. You know, so that way you can have stuff going on in the daytime too. You can have food and lounging in the daytime too. Maybe even have, you know, burlesque, sweetie, Jocelyn. Listen, burlesque even in the daytime with jazz and shit. Get into themes and shit. The Geechee girls, the Chicana girls, okay? You can get into themes, my nigga, like which I already do, but get into like really play the African girl. You know, you really can get into it. You know, with the themes and stuff at this cabaret and lounge burlesque night. Okay, you think high level. You got Dita Von Teese and shit there. You know, like burlesque. Oh yes, I do. I was want to do burlesque when I was a real young girl. I was going to name myself Monroe. I thought it was Rose Royce, but Rose Royce spelled actual like ROSE Rose Royce, and then Rose Rachmaninoff. You know, I was always I'm a bougie bitch, so it was Rachmaninoff. Yeah, it was Rachmaninoff. No, that was gonna be my name, Rose Rachmaninoff. It was either Rolls Royce or Rose Rachmaninoff. And I said, man, I was like 17. I said, man, I'm like, I want to do some burlesque. I feel like Dita Von Teese, you know. And so I think, you know, if you're gonna do a cabaret, the strip club that you want to open up, I think you should do it. What? Where are you gonna go in Atlanta? I don't think you should do it in California. I don't think you should do it in Cali. I think it should be in ATL or the Miami, Florida, or even Texas, Houston, Texas, maybe the Texas area, but I think it should be ATL to be honest. And I think it should be cabaret and lounge. I don't think you should call it strip club at all. And I think you should have stripping. Don't get me wrong. I think you should be strippers, but I just don't think you need to call it that because a lot of people want to be in a lounge mode. A lot of people want to do things in the daytime. A lot of people don't want to go out at night all like that and be out at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the devil's hour. You know, a lot of people don't want to be like that. People's really waiting on it and really believing in the end times. I didn't realize that, but people really, you know, and my thing, I have a whole idea about end times, but you know, whatever. And end times mean go party. That's just me. I'm a righteous nigga. I don't do nothing bad. So I'm like, end times mean go party. And we waiting for God to come. And I about that life. I'm like, if God comes, God ain't gonna catch me doing nothing crazy. So I'm like, what? Like, shit, I'm cool. What I gotta, you know, like, end times mean live it up. Have fun, not sitting, you know. But people is taking, you know, this shit serious, and so I think you should have it lounge, cabaret, and lounge. Have shit for the daytime, good food, food menu in the ATL. You know, speaking of ATL, you know, lemon pepper wings, you know, steak, you know, filet mignon, all that shit. But I'm gonna tell you this because speaking of ATL, now we're about to get into some shit. Now we're about to get, because you niggas, y'all try to play on my top, and I'm sick of y'all discussing occult information online. I'm sick of y'all not understanding shit. You gang stalking. This ain't got nothing to do with Jocelyn Cabaret right now. I'm switching the topic. Y'all gang stalking bloodline masons. Y'all gang stalking spiritual beings who understand their spiritual genealogy, who are doing their genealogy, and then you discussing what you gang stalked and listened to through on the phone or and through watching watching them through the computers and shit, and then you want to go and discuss occult information in public. Now I'm gonna play this video, this idiot talking about Atlanta is not Atlantis. For one, there are certain people on this planet that we are raising in consciousness, we are raising in ascension. We understand that there are ley lines and grid lines in this country that are interdimensional, and we understand frequencies. Higher frequencies are lower than other frequencies. Higher frequencies are higher than other frequencies, and certain frequencies are too low. And within development of our consciousness and the development of our frequency, we can access certain dimensions. This Atlantis is a dimension. When Atlanta was built on 33rd parallel by Masons, they had Atlantis in mind, and they created a Stargate over there. Now, since y'all want to be all up in our business and in cult bloodlines business, have at it. So when we said it was Atlantis, we weren't literally talking about that. We were talking about a dimension of access that certain people understand and understand how to program grid lines and ley lines as bloodline, seraphims, Nagas. Some of them are Nagas 33, which are fallen angels, and some of them are Nagas 125, which are seraphim angels from the higher dimensions. Some of them are both, like myself. Okay? So this topic of Atlantis and where it's at, obviously they say it's in Africa, they say it's there, it is this. It's a dimension. That means that it's still in existence, and it means that our ancestors are gatekeepers of certain dimensions. If your frequency is too low, you're not getting access to it. You ain't gonna see it. You ain't gonna know about it. You ain't gonna do shit. You just ought to be an ascendant nigga. Okay? A low frequency nigga. Bye-bye. Okay? And it ain't nothing wrong with that. That's you. Do you. But for those of us that's getting spiritual, we connecting with one another, we understanding as far as this Lion of Judah shit, we going high, we can connect with each other telepathically, we send each other codes, we know we on a whole nother wavelength. We don't got these motherfuckers want to look down on us and play on our top and make it seem like we crazy. So we should do the same to them. Who are them to tell us who we are and where we come from? We did our genealogy. We did genealogy, we did spiritual genealogy, we did meditation, we did psychedelics. We did experimentations with reaching higher dimensions. We are blessed. Some of our ancestors did the work for us, to be honest. Let's be real. But I want to play this video real quick, and I want you to see this nonsense, and we're going to address it because y'all always trying to play down niggas, and we know what we talking about. Now let's play it.
In Atlantis, I'm telling you that right now. Look, we came from slaves, and that they don't have hookah and hot lemon pepper wings in Atlantis.
Yes, they do. What the fuck you know about what's in Atlantis? How would you know? Because you so low vibe and low frequency. You need to raise your spirit. Sense. We interdimensional. Black Americans is interdimensional, which means that you are a spiritual being in a human body. Don't let this government try to convince you that the spiritual world is not real and that your ancestors don't have places prepared for you. And heaven or hell, it's all states of consciousness. You have to build it within. Heaven and hell is a state of mind. We have to build heaven on earth as a people, as melanated people, and we're going higher. And I'm going to be here, going up and yonder, going up and yonder. Oh yeah. I believe in higher dimensions. I know it. There's an Andromeda and Pleiades and all these different constellations with angelic beings. I know that God is real. I believe in the ascended masters that have walked this earth and tried to and be prophets and helped us. I know that they're interdimensional spiritual beings on this planet. We call them Nagas, angels, whatever. Fallen angels. Some of them are not fallen angels. Some of them are visitors. Some of them have always been here. They're guardians of the earth. Some of them are earth angels. Principalities. You're not getting past them. They are gatekeepers. There's star portals, stargates. There's portals in Alabama. There's portals in Mississippi. There's portals in Iran. There's portals in Kenya. Get the fuck out of here. We know what we're talking about. And Atlantis is a dimension. And they do have a Stargate access to it in Atlanta. You think the Masons gonna sit around and build that city grid lines and not know why they named it Atlanta? They know why they named it Atlanta. And those in the know. Why do you think there's so much spiritual activity there? Now, it's a lot of low-level shit that's going on in Atlanta, too. There's a hell in Atlanta. There's motherfuckers that they mind so low frequency, they so low-level, they doing human trafficking, they doing this low-level shit, don't get me wrong, but it's interdimensional. You go higher, you get to see shit that other people can't see. So they ain't trying to dog her or dog walk her, but I'm like, lady, y'all gotta stop this shit because I'm the only nigga that's talking about Atlantis in my books. And I did it from a very spiritual lens, and I did it from an interdimensional aspect. Ain't no motherfucking aliens. Y'all could kill that stuff. Stop talking about some, oh, it's some aliens. Oh, it's mermaids. Don't nobody think they are mermaids. There ain't no aliens. There are no aliens. Stop discussing occult information online. Stop spying on Seraphim. Stop spying on Bloodline Masons. Stop spying on Nagas 33 beings. And stop spying on Nagas 125D beings. And you niggas wouldn't be sitting on the internet talking about aliens. How stupid could you be? I guess the CIA is they having a ball. They're like, yeah, these niggas still don't get it. They spirits. It's spiritual. It ain't no aliens. I'm a highly evolved spirit. I ain't no alien. We talk about the Atlanteans. That's a bloodline. It's a bloodline that descended, unfortunately, and we working on getting back up there as part of the Lion of Judah. And yes, we have actual, obviously, the earthbound stuff. You understand your genealogy. You understand the Sephardic Moors. You understand, certain religions that you are part of, whether you be the Hebrew bloodline, you could be an African Hebrew, a Latino Hebrew, Indian Hebrew, whatever. That's your personal journey. That's a bloodline. It's not a religion that's meant for everybody to just go pick up the book and go think that that's them. People can do what they want at the end of the day, but the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Can you build? Are you an architect? Are you an actual bloodliner? Or are you just faking an imposter? Okay? A lot of people imposter that bloodline and they trippy and stealing everything from us. And we got the proof of it. So Black Americans, think highly of yourself. You think highly that you're a spiritual being. Stop being low level. Atlanta is Atlantis. We don't give a fuck what nobody say. Now, yeah, there's some low level ass shit. It's some earth shit that you can't, it's frequency. If you're at a higher frequency, you get to see other things and experience different things. You get to see in the Saturn, you get to see in different dimensions. You get to see into different things. But if you low frequency, yeah, you just go, you ain't gonna see that. And sometimes you go both. Sometimes you're not always high frequency. Sometimes you're gonna be low frequency. It doesn't, but you understand some things. I wasn't high enough. I saw that portal open. I saw that Atlantis shit pop open, and I said, well, I ain't actually ready to cross over yet. I closed it back. It closed up. I said, well, I ain't high frequency yet, and it was very much a shown to me. There's some black gatekeepers that's gatekeeping that. It's ancestral because you got to figure when you create when you can create dimensions with fractal points and angles, especially high level righteous bloodline masons, they prepare spaces for their ancestors. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you not understand the world we live in? So this is just one aspect of it. And it was this group down here. They like to be fallen. They like to have it low level. But they got caught doing a lot of bullshit, harming children. They got in trouble by the higher dimensions. Why you think all this shit popped off? Why you think Hollywood came under the fire? They got in trouble by the higher dimensions. The big dogs came down. Okay? Niggas came down. Okay? Me, I'm one of them. We came down. The GIA. Like, what the fuck? But it ain't no aliens. Okay?
I'm telling you that right now. Look, we came from slaves and
you came from a slave. How is that okay? She said her bloodline is a slave. As if only melanated been nothing but slaves. She talking about she comes from a slave as if that's the starting point of her genealogy. Did you do your genealogy? Did you even see slave in there? What's your ethnicities? What's your admixtures? When you looked at them census records, what did you see? Did you see American Indian? Did you see Negro? What did you see? Did you see Irish? Did you do your genealogy, Miss Lady? You talk about you came from slaves. I did my genealogy. Oh, I come from the bloodline that actually started all this shit. And yeah, we did get targeted because we did walk away. And we did go and we did ride it out with the American Indians because we wouldn't violate a pact. And plus, homeboy one of the bloodliners got in fucking trouble because he had to pay his dues, which descended a lot of us in that 400-year debacle. Okay. There was a science to it. Okay. And so yes, there is slavery in my bloodline, but we're not gonna act like, come on, like, let's be real. That genealogy relating to Bernard, Saint Bernard, the founders of Knights Templar, King James. That's many Black American story, by the way. Many. The indigenous bloodline being buried in ceremonial Algonquian in Indian Town in North Carolina for the last 200 years. There was always free people of color in this country. And in many ways, a lot of them are both the colonizer and the slave, even within Black America, because a lot of them have white blood too. So what are you talking about? You come from just slaves? I don't know about it. If you related to King James, which you may be related to my bloodline, do you not know that the Roman emperors in your bloodline, the Berber Roman emperors? It's ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. And you may have slavery in your bloodline. Yes, you may have, sweetie. But to say we come from slaves, there ain't no Atlantis. You want me on that low ass frequency with you? You on the low ass frequency. We want a high ass frequency. Yeah, we ascending in this bitch to heaven on earth. And so we ain't got time to be talking about some things. We don't.
Look, we came from slaves, and that's okay. Y'all want it to be Indians, Israelites, mermaids, aliens, anything but just acknowledging.
Nobody want to be the line is not one or the other. You're a spiritual being. You're an interdimensional being. Nobody is an alien. Nobody is a mermaid. If you come from the waters, you are born in a pouch of water, idiot. When you were born, my waters break. That doesn't make you a mermaid. But you have a close connection to the water. As far as the Lion of Judah, a lot of Black Americans are a part of that. Not all of us. We know how to identify each other. We telepathic as fuck. We know how to visit each other and dream. We give each other all types of motherfucking information. It's accurate to check out every motherfucking time. I tell the Black American, we start telling. I said, you better text me right fucking now, or else I'm gonna cut it off. I ain't gonna think I'm really communicating with you. I think you lying. Motherfucker, I said, text me with them. I said, you better text me in 30 seconds. She texted me in 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds, she texted me. I did it with multiple people, multiple Black Americans. So get your motherfucking ass on out of here. Yeah, there's a such thing as a Lion of Judah. And it ain't just Black people in it. No. But we are very sophisticated beings. And we are interdimensional. And they ain't no aliens. Y'all just paid to denigrate the shit that we doing down here because you can't catch up. The CIA can't catch up with what we doing. We too high level. We too high frequency. So they got to talk about some dumb shit like aliens and mermaids and shit to make us sound like we crazy. The Masons, you really think Vanguard, you think BlackRock ain't looking for Atlantis? She told me she come from a slave. You need to speak for yourself and do your genealogy. Y'all don't even truly know American history. The universe is energy. It's spiritual. Get your mind up that fucking Mason cube. You gonna say you come from a slave? You don't even do. Who told you that a history book from given to you by your oppressor? You didn't even do your fucking genealogy. That's why you shouldn't be discussing occult information in public, and that's go for my ass because I was doing it too. No Black American thinks there are a mermaid. Occult information should not be shared in these circles. These are too low level frequency people among us. They too low level. They want us down there with them. So they trying to act like, we crazy and all that stuff. Stop spying on priestesses. It's a shame Black Americans are we distracted the CIA nonsense. The government is trying to downplay and get in front of a revelation of the bloodline of Judah. They got caught stealing inventions from literal Hebrews who are misclassified as Black. And a Hebrew can be Indian, a more African, or Latino. So you need to evolve your thinking and mind or stay a slave. The government wants you to stay in their matrix. They don't want you aware of the spiritual realm. They want to downplay stuff. There are no aliens. You need to grow the fuck up and take this shit serious. Or be letting the dead bury the dead. Black Americans, stop discussing occult information in public. Stop talking about aliens. There ain't no aliens. The CIA is freaking out that Black Americans are interdimensional, meaning spiritual. They're not aliens. We have the ability to stargate, quantum entanglement, and time travel. That's why the government wants to downplay Atlantis. They never debate me openly. They just want to throw shots because they fucking cowards. My genealogy is public. The government knows who I am. And they scared they got caught stealing my inventions and targeting me since 2015. They know that it's spiritual beings on this planet. Atlantis is a dimension that requires high frequency to access. The government is too low frequency. They can't access it. They want to send out idiots to downplay those of us that's enlightened enough to access those higher dimensions higher than them. That's it. Black Americans stop talking about this stuff in public. We can do it in private. And melanated people, you need to tap in spiritually. All humanity, all humans, no matter what you are, no matter where you are, tap in spiritually. There are no aliens. Shame you being spiritual. Go high frequency at this time. Don't let insecure, low-vibe people shame you for discussing spiritual topics. Don't devalue the conversation of aliens and identity politics and mermaids and shit. Fly high. This message is for all humans that get it. Okay? Tap in. Go within. Go within. Okay? And rulers of this world, they take this shit very serious. What do you think CERN was? You don't think Vanguard and BlackRock is looking for Atlantis to access Atlantis? They study every little thing I fucking do. Same as other Black Americans. So CERN is just, oh, they steal my inventions. I'm a spiritual being. They just want Black Americans to talk about stupid shit like aliens. Low-level nonsense. Don't downplay the severity of what I'm saying. These corporations, billions, Palantir, they got big ass, they literally watching for fucking aliens, idiots. They know that it's something serious going on. But we ain't about to sit up there and talk about fucking stupid shit. About lemon peppers in Atlantis. You don't even understand how serious this stuff is. We're talking about ley lines and grid lines that have access to portals and stargates that these Masons have built hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and the government trying to understand how to get the key to them because melanated people eat them. So get your ass up. Or not. But don't come to us with the bullshit. We're going to continue to be high level. We're going to continue to talk about Atlantis. We're going to continue to talk about primordial waters. We're going to continue to talk about interdimensional beings. Now I got spiritual beings, angels, God, and the Lion of Judah. We don't give a fuck about you niggas that's all getting paid by this government to undermine real niggas. We spiritual. Get over it.
Our actual, like, real history. But y'all,
I talked about it. We talked about slavery. We talked about Africa. We talked about American Indians. We talked about the Black Europeans. What? Well, y'all want us on this earth-based shit. But we ain't got no power. Either way. So we might as well go high frequency and spiritual and try to get power that way. You ain't gonna tell me I left all the notes, all the crumbs, everything that I've been doing down here. Y'all know that she got some type of power. We gotta go high frequency. I can't be on that low level talking about slaves all day. Talked about slavery. Wrote books on slavery. Yeah, okay. We talked about it already. Go higher.
over here talking about Atlanta is Atlantis. Like, no, you are not the Little Mermaid. You are not Poseidon. So stop playing. Like, y'all want to play pretend. You're black. You're black.
Real black, BLAQUE. What is the definition of black by your government? The government, you under mind control, nigga. Black is dead. And servitor mortus, it means any race from Africa, you under the Roman energies, the Roman masonry. We know what the fuck we talking about. Y'all just not on our level. Y'all just not there yet. But don't try to come to us. We've been talking about niggas, Africa. We talked about a Kibalon. We talked about the Hotep shit. I've been in the conscious community since I was 19. Don't nobody think they a mermaid. But yes, we come from primordial waters. You was birthed in a pouch of water. 9 months gestation. Water break. You came out the cooch. And what did we do? You floated. As soon as you go in the thing of water, you float as a baby. That don't mean you're a mermaid. It just means we got connection with the water, dumbasses. So I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I'm not because I see how, again, someone that's putting this stuff in books at a real high level and people don't understand it, so they hurry up and trying to devalue and degrade it. And since I'm blacklisted and shadow banned, they try to send out people so if Black Americans do come across it, they automatically write it off like, oh shit, she talking about mermaid, she talking about Israelite, you talking about this is their campaign against me. And when I can debate niggas on this shit, we know that Atlanta is built on ley lines, grid lines, a 33-degree parallel by Masons who had Stargate, who built Stargates, just like they did in Mississippi, just like they did in Alabama. It's high level shit. They got stuff that connects from Alabama to Saturn. People were geniuses. Benjamin Banneker, who created the whole structure of Washington D.C. using masonry. My peoples are fucking geniuses when it comes to masonry. So we're not about to play these games with you niggas. We know what we talking about. You better get spiritual or die.
Okay, you're Black American, and that's all right. They don't have hookah.
We know we Black American. We know that. We just said BLAQUE because we cosmic melanin beings going into spiritual, and we don't give a fuck about the government's definition of black because the government messed it up on purpose so they can write you dead in law. That's what black means. Black, the definition of black out of federal U.S. Census Bureau is fucked up, and it's designed to ethnicize you. And so I went in and did craftsmanship around black and changed gematria to a high frequency to put the spirit in the soul and free the mind of the Black American. Yes, I did. And so that's what we're doing. I think this baby girl is very beautiful. I think you need to open your mind. I think you need to be loud and wrong. That's what you niggas, y'all been loud and wrong. Y'all keep getting egg on your face when it come to me. Every time. And y'all think I don't know. And y'all think y'all keep getting egg on your face when it come to me. Because I'm too advanced. You're trying to trap me. Oh, she's talking about aliens. I ain't never say nothing about no motherfucking aliens. That sound like a fucking kid. You talking about the reptilians. I said Nagas beings. Oh, I ran down the history of all the Nagas beings throughout the whole world, including the ones in the United States. It's a spiritual thing. It's not aliens. They're guardians of the earth. What are you talking about? They're principalities. And in many ways, you could look at them as even sometimes angels. Look at the seraphim, fire breathing dragon angels. That's a seraphim. That's one of the 9 choirs of angels in the Bible. Whether you're religious or not, it's not a religious thing. It's an interdimensional thing. So they can be found outside of, they call them netters in Kemet, Nagas in India. Like, let's grow up and evolve. That's the thing. Y'all don't want to evolve. Y'all sitting there. I don't want to be sitting up here low level with some low level niggas. I want to evolve. I do. I want to evolve. And so that's what I'm on. The people, I know it's a group of us that's evolving together. Shit, a lot of them is the elite niggas. I'm kind of shocked. I said the elite niggas is the ones that be coming through with the smackdown that be helping niggas out. I'm like, damn. I thought it was gonna be, I'm looking for the hood niggas. The hood niggas ain't nowhere to be found. The hood niggas is the one that wanna sell out. The elite niggas is the ones that want out. That want to do the right things. What I'm realizing, which is shocking, because everybody want to demonize, but y'all don't be knowing what the fuck I be talking about half the time any damn ways. But I'm about to be out. I'm signing off. God bless. I don't mean to be so negative. And on a good note, remember this Entrusted Melanism. Remember this shit. Apply this shit. Read this shit. It's available for free. You got to go to the Church Architect folder. It could be found on. You're looking for that. Just go to the pen tweet of my Twitter, the first Twitter on the pin tweet, and you'll be able to find that Chief Architect folder. You click on there, you'll be able to get this. You'll be able to you'll get to this, and you'll see all of the information, the esoteric information for you, and you'll be able to find also the redacted version of that book. And I do ask that you go and buy the whole book. It's right here. Entrusted. You click on it, and you can download it. Okay. And so, and you get to learn more about the Nakhti philosophy, the Nakhti sciences, the divine feminine, the Nakhti philosophy. I think this one, it's restricted access on this one. I ask that you support, show a nigga love. I'm here for humanity. I know that I got to work on things. I'm maturing, evolving still, growing, awakening still, but my heart is in a good space and I'm filled with love and I want to receive love and be love. And so, we're about to be off of here. Hold on, I'll do this. I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay. And you guys have a great day. This is Wednesday. I said I'm going to do two. I'm going to do two lives. I want to go back to doing two lives. Not, shorter lives though, but I want to go back to doing two lives a week. I'm gonna try to. So I pick Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, I was born on a Wednesday. So Wednesdays, I was born in a spiritual war zone. So I noticed that I don't like to do a lot on Wednesdays. And so I said, well, maybe, I could do my videos on a Wednesday and on Friday still, so we still will be back on Friday, but my goal is to try to commit to doing two videos a week, to see where I get with it. I know I'm algorithmically challenged in terms of the level of content that I put out, and also I know, if you only do like one video a week or whatever, you may not, I think that hurts me algorithmically too. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I didn't do this. I like the YouTube stuff. I don't like what YouTube has become, especially with the AI content. That's fucking weird. I really abhor what YouTube has become over the years. But when YouTube first came out, I absolutely fell in love with it. I could tell instantly that a black person mind was behind the creation of YouTube, even though obviously, because if they stole that AI invention from me, I know that they stole the YouTube. I can look at YouTube instantly and tell that they stole it from the mind of a black person and didn't give them credit or studying them, and they didn't, and they probably don't even know that they secretly invented it. They did. That's how it happens. I forgot that I did a capstone on AI and NVIDIA in the 2019. I forgot. That's how fast my mind works. I literally forgot. Like a spiritual being had to literally come and visit me and say, "Dude, go back to 2018 and 2019 and pull up your capstone and look at what you invented. You didn't even realize you invented it. I think you have a lawsuit on your hand because they stole this from you and you submitted it to the National Science Foundation and Columbia University." I forgot. That's how fast my mind works. I was on to whole other shit. That's how fast, like, it was just like, it was nothing. I just came up with it in one day, worked on it for 6 months, and then boom, okay, I'm done. But it was a fucking $1 trillion fucking invention. And I know that a black person is behind YouTube. I know it. I don't have to. I know obviously the inventor is probably a white face on it. But what I'm saying is they studied a black person's mind and soul, and was a black man to come up with YouTube. I know it for a fact. I know it. I could see there's Atlantean science within YouTube's embedded in the algorithms. I could see it spiritually now. And that's why I was so addicted to it. That's why I loved it so much. That's why black people love YouTube so much. I hate what they did with it though. I hope they go back to, they ruined so many things for people. I hope they go back to what it was, 2013, 2012, 2010. I hope it goes back to some of that. We need, I really do. But nonetheless, I'm gonna spread some love. I love you guys. I hope everything is good on your end. And let me get my ass up on off of here. Bye.
Okay, so I think we do a little bit of music. It's a little bit of music. What I'm gonna have to do though is I'm gonna have to remove it off of YouTube, obviously for copyright reasons. So I'll do that now. If you do want to listen to a little bit of music with us, we'll still be on Rumble and X. But I do have to remove it off of YouTube. And the playlist, we're gonna be listening to DJ Jamad of Affirmations. It's a real quick set, but I think it's an amazing set. I'm like, dude, this is dope, so I really enjoyed this set. So we'll play a little bit of that, and then we're gonna head up off of here. I wanted to play one of the shows, The Golden Goose, from Happily Ever After, but I'm too tired for that. I ain't gonna hold you, so we'll probably do that Friday. But yeah, let me get this removed off of YouTube if you're on YouTube. Have a great rest of the week. It's Wednesday. And so we're gonna do a little bit of music. Remove this off of here. Let's do that.